been trying to pre-order that PS5 all night. If you up, smash that like button. Welcome to Black and the Black Times Infinity. I'm your host, Cthulhu's about to come to you live and direct from the stack. Smoke me out, fam, with that dang shit on my left. Blue.
Man, you think the California wildfires were something? The fucking PlayStation 5 was on point.
On my far right, engineering on the ones and twos, joking people out on threes and post Chronos.
RIP Xbox Series X.
In the middle, we got your boy Stitch.
I got my PlayStation 5. I got my PlayStation 5.
Last but not least, we got the oldest ninja in the world, Old Ninja.
Be a dragon.
Are you gonna pull some Kanye shit? You got that dragon energy?
No, you'll see in a minute when we talk about it. We'll talk about it in a minute.
Peeing on Grammys, I guess.
Wait, what?
You didn't hear about that?
What the fuck did you say? Hold on. Say what you just said again. I might have heard you wrong.
I said he's peeing on Grammys.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Babies.
None of that either.
Oh,
None of that either.
Weirdness. We'll get to it. Chronos, you got some statistics for us.
That I do. Our listener of the week would be Joseph. Thank you very much for listening. And first in the chat would be nobody, even though people are watching, nobody's commented yet.
All right, comment away. Old
Joseph
Ninja.
Jesus' dad? Wasn't Joseph Jesus' dad?
I don't think so, because his last name was not cut.
oh shit.
Goddamn.
Wow.
Old Ninja.
People are going to get mad and think about that, Joe.
Pour out something.
Oh, we're gonna pour out some cyanides this week for Frederick Nathaniel Hibbert, known by his stage name as Toots Hibbert, was a Jamaican singer and lead singer for the band Toots and the Midals. He has 6 decades of music and performance, with a lot of people saying that the song "Do the Reggae" is the beginning of the reggae genre. Toots and the Midals won a Grammy in 2005 for their album True Love. He formed his band with Raleigh Gordon and Jerry Matthias in 1961 after he met them at a barbershop he was working at. Toots has made it into the Guinness World Book of Records back in the 80s for performing live and then having the album be made within less than 24 hours.
Nice.
There's a documentary called Reggae Got Soul, the story of Toots and the Midals. To give you some insight into his influence and fame, Hibbert joined the Red Hot Chili Peppers for a performance of Louie Louie during the New Year's Eve performance on December 31st, 2011, held in St. Bart's by a Russian billionaire, Roman Abramoff. Around 300 guests, including George Lucas, Martha Stewart, Mark Jacobs, and Jimmy Buffett were there. That's just to give you how much his influence reached and who's who in Hollywood and some other performers that performed with him. He died at the age of 77 at a hospital in Kingston due to complications of COVID-19.
Damn.
Next up, we have Dame Diana Rigg, most recently known as Lady Orlana Tyrell from the Game of Thrones. She's passed away. She was part of my opening quote where she tells Daenerys to be a dragon. Lady Rigg is a star of both stage and screen, as the only actress to play the wife of James Bond in the movie On Her Majesty's Secret Service. She's won a Tony Award for her stage performance of, I believe this is pronounced Medea, because it's a Greek play. It might be Media, not quite sure. She's also appeared in 1961 British television show The Avengers, not to be confused with Marvel's Avengers. The show is about espionage and secret agents. There was a 1998 reboot, which was really terrible. She was made a CBD in 1988 for us Yanks. A CBD is a British order of chivalry, rewarding contributions to the arts and sciences, work with the charitable and welfare organizations, and public service outside the civil service.
Is that kind of like being knighted?
Almost, because she was made a dame in 1994, so
okay.
later on. So she has starred in 34 Broadway and other stage productions and 70 films. Her daughter is actress Rachel Sterling, who reported her death due to cancer. She was 82.
R.I.P. That was I loved her in Game of Thrones. Just in terms of the most recent role, I think everybody loved that. Loved what she was doing in that one.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I quoted her, because she had some harsh lessons to teach people in Game of Thrones, and everybody loved her because she didn't give a fuck about Cersei. She literally told Cersei to fuck right off, pretty much.
She was probably the best cunt in the show. And I say cunt lovingly because she was a straight up asshole. It was great.
Yep.
She had that line where she was like, "Tell Cersei it was me."
Yeah.
Yeah. And then killed herself because she was the best.
Yeah.
All right.
That's like
Was that it?
when what's that dude's name? The rapper Canvas, when he tells you he says he's gonna send you to hell and tell Lucifer I sent you. I'm pretty sure that's in other movies too.
Probably.
Old Ninja anymore?
No, that was it. Those two.
Maybe we got to this.
Nobody else died.
Did we get to this last week? Wasn't there somebody in Jackass that died?
Yeah, there was a guy named Stevie Lee who passed away, but
Did we cover that last week?
no, he died like 5 days ago.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I can't remember which one he was.
Yeah, he was only in Jackass 3D from what I'm seeing. He was a pro wrestler known as Puppet the Psycho Dwarf, and he also starred in the Jackass 3D, and he died at the age of 54.
Damn.
Can I tell the world this? I've said it multiple times. Jackass 3D is probably the greatest 3D movie of all fucking time. I'm serious. I have no idea when they released it to homes that they put it in the weird blue-red 3D, whatever, the bullshit like 1980 3D.
Yeah.
But the actual 3D was the most insane use of 3D that I ever saw in my entire life. From the very beginning, when they did some explosions with confetti and shit, I was like, oh my god, I almost had a fucking seizure. It was amazing. Like, seriously.
Damn.
Holy shit. Well, R.I.P. to him. Gentlemen, we got to start with are we going to start with some fun stuff to begin this show? Because there's obviously some big-ass news to drop. Carlos, why don't you set us up? I know what you're going to cover.
Yeah, so the PS5 announcement for the release date and the price drop was today. To the surprise of probably no one, the price point was pretty much what I think I said a couple of months ago. It's going to be $500 for the disc version and then $400 for the digital version. So that's right in line with what I think most people expected. I think it's a great price point, especially the digital version for most people, because it undercuts the Xbox Series X while having the same specs as the normal or the disc PS5. They're not cutting specs out, just the one component, which is not going to be a negative aspect to the overall performance of the console. Unlike the Xbox Series S, which is definitely a little bit of a step back, but I understand why Microsoft did it. It's going to get more people into potentially buying their Xbox Series S at a lower price point, but it is, it's not as good as the Xbox Series X. It's going to be released in America and a couple other countries on November 12th, which I thought it was going to release like right around the time of Cyberpunk 2077. You can run the tape, and I was correct on that as well. Just a couple of days before that, it's going to drop. So I think it's a really good announcement from Sony. They announced some other games today as well that were pretty amazing. They're really showing off what the PS5 can do, and everything looked really, really good. What did you guys think about the announcement? Was it the right price point for you guys? Are you guys getting it? I mean, I'm getting it, but I can't. It sold out so goddamn fast. I'm waiting for Amazon to release the pre-orders now at this point.
Started it off. You had some success right off the bat. Go ahead.
Fuck yeah! I was waiting for this. I remember the PlayStation 3 being a fucking nightmare when that thing dropped. The PlayStation 4 not so much. That was pretty smooth, but once you could sort of see the writing on the wall where they released all this stuff about like having some issues with some of the chips with the PlayStation, so they had to sort of cut their production numbers and everything. I was like, okay, there's going to be a mad demand for this for this console, and the supply is going to be very low, so people are going to go apeshit for it. So I watched the Sony press conference and everything. Literally, as soon as they gave the price, I called over my GameStop. I was like, "Hey, do you guys have it?" And they're like, "No, we don't have it yet. We don't know anything about the pre-order." So I was like, "All right." And she said with the Xbox, they were going to, I guess, they're going to hear within a week or so, but she had no idea. So I was like, all right, that's cool, I guess. So I'm just sort of like going over some of the news, and on like one of like the IGN threads or something like that, I saw people posting like their receipts and they got it from GameStop. And I was like, what the fuck? And I saw the comments and they were like, yeah, they're doing in person. And I saw like someone posted, it was like within like 5 to like 8 minutes when people were posting their receipts. I was like, I got to go. So, so I went over there and I walked in. I was like, hey, can I reserve the PlayStation 5? They're like, do you want the digital or the disc copy? And I was like, the disc. They're like, we only have the digital. I was like, fuck. I was like, well, well, I don't know. But I was just like, okay. I was like, I'll take the digital, but can I upgrade to the disc one when it becomes available? And the girl was like, yeah, you can do that. And so they made a note on my account, and I was kind of just like asking some questions. There were people like coming in, like it wasn't a line or anything, but people were coming in like marching in with a mission. Like you could see that's what they were there for and everything. And they said that they didn't really know how many numbers they were definitely going to be like allocated or whatever, but they were able to definitely say for sure they were going to have whatever X number. So they were able to take some pre-orders then, and because they didn't want to start taking people's money and then definitely not have enough units. So they're like, once we get a hard number on how many more units, then we definitely expect to have, then we'll take more orders. So I got the digital copy and everything, got the receipt for it. It's in a safe spot next to my birth certificate. So I'm not going so I don't have to risk losing it. But I'm excited. But everywhere else, I tried to talk with some friends, and it was just selling like crazy because they announced that it was supposed to be released tomorrow, saying that they're going to start doing pre-orders. And then people just, I saw this one funny GIF of the little the Baby Yoda thing, where pushing like the start button on the thing where they're like pre-orders are going to be released tomorrow, and then the little Baby Yoda like pushes like the thing like saying like nope right now. And Target, Best Buy, GameStop, everything's just pretty much just crapped out because people just started, I guess, buying up and crashing all their sites and trying to refresh and stuff. So luckily I got my hands on it for right now. But what I did hear, go ahead.
Right now on eBay, I don't know if you're going to say this, but there's somebody selling a pre-order for the PlayStation 5 with 2 controllers and it looks like 2 gift cards, PlayStation cards, for $2,020.
God damn.
For pre-order.
I did see that on, I think the 22nd, Target, and not Target, Walmart is going to be accepting pre-orders in their store. So if you're able to get to a Walmart, whenever they open, I guess, you might be able to pre-order whatever version that you want, because online seems to be all crapped out, but it looks like they're going to have some actual units in store that they're going to be able to, you can claim if you want.
All right, old ninja, get in here. Oh, did he actually bounce? What the fuck?
He quit.
He quit like Xbox.
Jesus Christ! I'm calling on you, old ninja. You pissing or drinking? What the fuck?
No, I had to deal with something at the house really quick.
All right. You got some initial thoughts? Initial thoughts, old ninja? Come on.
I mean, I came in kind of late at the showcase. I came in when they were showing Black Ops, and then I watched from then on. So I missed whatever was before that. But I mean, the price stuff was shown at the end. I thought it was a very interesting price point. I figured this is obviously going to be a huge seller. It's 2 days after the Xbox, both the Xbox systems. So it's gonna be interesting to see. Pre-orders for the Xbox are on the 22nd. If you already do the pre-orders for the PS5, it's just going to be crazy. I guess games. I don't know if Stitch mentioned. I guess GameStop's website like crashed or whatever.
Mhm.
Like it just went down. There's just too many people just trying to bombard and pre-order and whatnot. Also
Same thing
saw.
with Best Buy. Hold on, real quick. Best Buy fucked up too. Like I had it in my cart, and I was trying to buy it for like fucking 30 minutes. It kept sitting, spinning. I was just like, fuck. So I couldn't get it.
Yeah,
But
so I was just like,
GameStop
oh, shit.
showed that they were being like cyber attacked, so they were like kicking you off or something.
Yeah, I think it was denial of service attack.
Yeah, it's just too much traffic, and they shut it down probably. But it's gonna be interesting. Um, there's a lot of stuff that I saw was pretty. I mean, they showed a little bit more. Some of the games that were shown, like I don't. Nobody said anything about this, but if you're on PlayStation, you get to play the alpha of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War this weekend.
Yep.
So I think starting Thursday or Friday, you'll be able to play for the weekend and check it out. I guess if you log on Thursday, you can start the download and then you'll get access Friday, something along those lines. So it's going to be pretty interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how this goes down. Another thing that's interesting to me is I guess Nintendo is supposed to announce they're supposed to debut the Switch Pro. So that should be interesting to see. I mean, we haven't really talked about stuff about the Switch.
Is that confirmed? Got confirmed today?
Not today, but apparently people are talking about it's supposed to be released in December.
But hold on, Nintendo confirmed it, or this is still rumor right now?
I believe it was confirmed. I could have sworn it was confirmed, just no release date. That was.
I think it's just rumors because they haven't shown anything about it.
Yeah. Okay. Let's for right now until it's confirmed by Nintendo. Let's stick with this.
All right, for sure. But yeah, it should be fun come November. See what happens. I wonder if it's going to be like the Cabbage Patch Kids back in the day, where people getting PlayStation thrown at them in the crowd, and someone's going to get knocked out.
Nobody's throwing no PlayStation. People be throwing fucking blood.
Blue, were you excited? I mean, you like this price? You like what you saw? What'd you think?
Okay. I'm just joking, man. That shit was fucking fire. Like, rehydrate after fucking watching it. Like, the games they showed in the beginning was like, damn. And then once they started talking about the actual console, because they mentioned that it's backwards compatible, so you will be able to play your PlayStation 4 games, especially if you have them digitally. Which I always think like playing your old games is kind of stupid, but since the PS4 is still available and they're still releasing games for it, it kind of makes sense for it to be backwards compatible. Because I don't think the PlayStation 4 is backward compatible with the 3, right? It was only backwards compatible with the 1.
Yeah, it wasn't backwards compatible. The 4 wasn't backwards compatible at all.
Mm-hmm. No.
The 3 was, but not the. And the 3 was only like certain versions.
Yeah,
the fat one.
The fatty.
Which is the one that I got.
Yeah. But when they started to like kind of roll through the curves and the details of the fucking console, oh man, I fucking lost it. I was like, damn, this console looks sexy as hell. But once they dropped that price, though, I was like, oh shit, $500. That's a little steep, but that's about how much the PlayStation 4 cost, right? The PlayStation 4 is $400, huh? When it dropped it originally.
4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not that bad. I mean, they have the digital copy that's $400, which isn't that bad. But I definitely want one with the disc. So, but overall, I'm super excited that we finally got a price, we got a release date, and we also got a bunch of games that are going to be dropping day one with the console.
What'd you like for games? I mean, we haven't even touched on any of that.
Boy, whew. I'm pretty sure everybody's on the same boat as me, but that SpiderMan Miles Morales trailer had me fucking Jones, and I was watching it when I was in a drive-through to get some food, and I had to pull over just so I can watch it because I was gonna crash or something because my eyes were mainly focused on that.
Oh man.
The game looked. I mean, this is probably wasn't like the actual gameplay, but the game looked crisp. Like him like walking through the town, like his suit looked badass. Like we got to see him use his powers. Like his abilities are completely different than Peter Parker's, which is cool because it's a whole different character. But what's your guys' take on it? I don't want to take everything away.
So you got to see the camouflage part. You actually got to see actual gameplay, which is really fucking awesome.
Did they drop actual gameplay?
Yeah, like you see him walking through. It's sort of like a street fair kind of thing going on in Harlem when he's walking with Genki.
Toby.
Yeah, and it looked really cool. Like you see him fighting. It's got pretty much the same fighting mechanics as the Spider-Man game on PS4 that came out, but you see him like go into the camouflage mode, which Peter Parker Spider-Man doesn't have. And then I'll have to rewatch it again, but it looked like he had sort of like the Venom sting where he like caused some shit to like.
A bunch of times.
Yeah, short circuit and everything, which was fucking badass to see, and it was awesome because
was when he can use his stinging and electric powers mid-air. So there's like a scene where he's like in the air and then like he uses static sting or whatever and like zipped across without he wasn't using his weapon. He just like shot across and like attacked the person. I thought that shit was fucking dope. Almost like Raiden.
Venom Blast.
Mm-hmm. And then it was a good reminder that Peter Parker is half Puerto Rican. People fucking keep forgetting this.
Wait, whoa.
I'm sorry. Miles Morales, my bad. Miles. Oh, I'm sorry. I went into rage mode. I fucking blacked out or whatever for a second.
Words just
people keep skating and forgetting about that whole aspect. And if I was Puerto Rican, I'd be pissed as fuck that, I mean, yeah, he is black. He is also, it's a half and half mix. So it was really cool to see him walking through this like Puerto Rican pride, like street party and everything like that. And be like, yeah, remember, that's who he is or whatever. Because a lot of people, like, when people want this like live action Spider-Man for Miles Morales, they always pick people go out and they pick the kid from Stranger Things, and I'm like, no, I'm like, give me something that's believable that he is half Puerto Rican, half black or whatever, instead of just this kid that he's black and he's got some nerd qualities to it. Like, no, he is half and half, and I'm glad that the video game hit people over the head with that to remind them.
That's good shit.
Yeah, well, to be fair, though, the movie did, too. I mean, for a little bit. I mean, like, when he was at home, his mom was speaking obviously Spanish.
Yeah, the movie does.
You know,
yes.
She definitely was not black. So,
yeah.
That was fun. The thing that blew me away from the game standpoint, obviously, Miles Morales, I think, is going to be a huge fucking seller. I think people are literally going to buy this console just to play Miles Morales because they already love the Spider-Man game from 2018 so much. God damn was I impressed by that Resident Evil 8 fucking Village trailer. It was the second trailer because we saw one a few months ago. It looks spooky as fuck. It looks like it has the RE7 lore from some of the same characters, maybe Ethan and some of the Redfields and Mia and all of that. And I just got finished playing RE7, which was fucking incredible. I like the fact that it looks like it's possibly first person, but that shit had my jaw on the fucking floor. I think that's a 2021 release date, and we don't know the exact hard date of it, but it'll come out next year. That one impressed me even more seeing that fucking second trailer. So this was already going to get my money, but I was astounded by just how impressive and gory and fucking frightening that looked.
Well, let me bring up something that's sad. I'm gonna start with the sad shit first, okay? It's the first time in at least, I think, 3 console generations where there's not going to be another Gear Solid game announced for launch, even though they never really launch on time. But that's sad as fuck for me personally because I love the Metal Gear Solid franchise. I know that Hideo Kojima is no longer with Konami, but it's still sad for Konami to basically lie to me for a few years and say this is going to be a launch title, and it comes out 2 fucking years later. But I still love it. So, yeah, that's sad. Great parts about this. There's a game that was announced that I didn't know was going to come out, which I really want to play really badly, is the Hogwarts Legacy game.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a Harry Potter fan, and it seems to be like an open world fucking Harry Potter thing. It looks like you could possibly create your own character. It looked amazing to me, but it's basically kind of like a tech demo thing. I thought that was cool. They also announced Final Fantasy 16. It has the same sort of gameplay mechanics as Final Fantasy 15. So we'll see how that works. Obviously, we already went over Miles Morales, Spider-Man. Fucking God of War got announced.
there you go.
God of War Ragnarok got announced at the very end, or near the end anyway. Yeah, there's no gameplay, whatever, but yeah, just said 2021. Hopefully, they make that window. If they make it 2022 or even 2023, I don't really give a shit. Take those timings you need. That game needs to be just as good or better than the last game, which was fantastic. They upped the bar on what gaming could be for me. I think for most people, I think we need to keep going down that same path and keep hitting those fucking 10s. Do not compromise.
Really quick, going back to the Harry Potter stuff, I guess there was I know IGN had a lot to say, and I guess so did some of the other community, because I guess this was a game that was like kind of talked about a couple of years ago, and they're saying, nah, this isn't gonna happen, we're just testing something, and then like it started to steamroll, and then people knew it was gonna be a game, and then we didn't hear nothing about it. And this is the first time in like about a year that we've seen something about it. It takes place in 1880. People saying this isn't probably not the best timing because of J.K. Rowling and her public stance on her comments and stuff about the trans community.
Don't nobody give a shit about that.
I mean, that's what I say, but people were saying like this, her and her fan base are basically at war, and I'm like, you know what? I think a true Potterhead probably won't care, and they'll buy the game. Like, even though it takes place in 1880, you create your own student, you get to do spells. It looks fantastic. So I don't think the controversy is going to hurt the game as much.
People have really short memories with stuff, and unless J.K. Rowling is in like the commercials reminding people of some of the stuff that she's going off on, I literally think people are either going to forget, or they're just going to get wrapped up in the nostalgia of Harry Potter and just buy it as long as it has good reviews and looks even better from additional trailers. The Potter fandom goes hard. Like you cannot underestimate that fandom. Don't they have the Universal? Don't they have a whole Harry Potter castle and shit with wands?
They have and it's fucking amazing.
Yeah, I mean it's not a game for them. You know what I mean? It's life.
So let me just, for people that, she said some
disparaging,
very likely hurtful things to people in the trans community. And she kind of doubled down on some of it, but from what I saw, she wasn't calling for the death of trans people or anything like that. It wasn't anything extreme. And listen, if in 2020 we could remake an entire universe based upon a definite racist dude named H.P. Lovecraft and staff it with all basically black actors, and they took that shit back, I think that in 2020 she can turn this around. Her franchise is still going to keep going. I saw the Harry Potter play last year.
Oh, that's right.
It was fucking amazing. It was even more diverse than the book or even the show, even though it's trying to have some weird revisionist history saying that Hermione didn't say she was white, but it's if you read the book, she was definitely Caucasian. I don't care what the fuck you say. But yeah, and she was also staffed or played as somebody that's Caucasian. Yeah, I think the game, it's not going to be affected at all by what she said on Twitter a couple of times. Unless she does something else that's super violent, she'll be fucking fine. This game will be fine. I'm interested in playing it.
Yeah,
listen here. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to really, really quickly point out we did get price points on games. I know we talked about this a while ago, but yes, you are going to have to get used to at full retail launch. These are going to be $70 fucking games.
Some games. Some.
Well,
no.
I thought that all the ones that we saw were 70.
Not all of them. Yeah,
Spider-Man is 60. You're 59 or whatever.
Okay. All the others, it sounds like all the others, because 2K was definitely 70. It seems like 70 is going to be the point on a go forward basis. But remember, we had $60 games for 2 generations, PS3, 360, and PS4, and there were $50 games in the early 90s, late 80s on Super Nintendo and NES and whatnot. When you factor in inflation, gaming is cheaper now at launch than it's ever been. Go ahead.
Well, let's also be honest, is that these generations, there have been more diversified price points for games than at any other time. So like indie games and some other games that are maybe not as long of games, they're being reduced in price like right away. Like there's been games that are, popular games that sell for like $30, $40,
Sure.
$50, or sometimes even like Fortnite's fucking free.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a bunch of free games out there that, so it's offsetting all those costs, and I think that it's kind of a long time coming about this $70 price
Yeah.
point. Because if you look at like how long it takes to make a AAA title nowadays, like this shit should have happened a long time ago.
It really should have.
Like for real.
Yeah, I mean,
look at the amount of detail that went into God of War, or SpiderMan, or all these other plethora of games. Or just there's so much shit in these games, like, and it takes them like 5+ years, like of constant work to push this out. Yeah, I think it's very reasonable in that sense.
so yeah, and not to mention, we briefly talked about this, I think a couple years ago, but these games are running on basically Hollywood movie budgets, like
Yep.
millions of dollars in
Yeah.
production, and multiple studios are collaborating to put out one product. And like the timetables have increased because the games are bigger and longer and more like, crazy graphics and whatnot. So that stuff costs time and money. And we're giving, by you purchasing the game, you're giving back to them and saying, hey, I'm purchasing your time and effort into this world that you're letting me explore in. So I expected it, like, I think we talked about it a year ago, that we're going to see a price hike, even if there wasn't a new console. We're probably going to see longer development times and then a higher, higher price increase. So
Yeah, and
Well, another thing too, though. Sorry.
I was just going to say, in terms of just from a gamer perspective, I know we're not developers or anything, but from a gamer's perspective, the ROI was always in your favor. You can see it this entire generation. Games like Modern Warfare, or Witcher 3, or a GTA 5, or whatever, Metal Gear Solid 5, a Red Dead Redemption 2. Long-ass games with giant multiplayer or online components, or Destiny, like games that you could literally play for a year or two
or
plus.
longer.
That's a steal for $70.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's also, people also don't seem to realize that with this new generation of games, or even like even the current generation, they're pushing more and more now for digital content. This is going to change the way that games are being sold, and it's also going to change how retail and studios are going to get paid. So if you buy a game digital on Sony, obviously you cut out the whole brick and mortar thing. So that's going to have a definite detriment to GameStop and all these other studios. So like these digital only platforms are going to have a huge deal, and also it's a better way for the studio to get the money back if they don't have to actually physically print, a game out and send it to somebody. Even though I'm getting the disc version, but I understand why people are getting digital only versions. But it's still going to save potentially these corporations money, even though it's like a very small amount to create, box art and discs nowadays. But it's still a factor when they come to the producing games.
But also something you got to take into account too is that a lot of these games have like season passes you can buy, so you can get more content for your game. And the season passes sometimes can be the price of a whole nother game, but you get like even more fucking content, which is great, which keeps you playing the game. So that even though you're paying twice the price for the game, you're getting like more content that you're going to continue playing and then talk to your friends about, and they're going to go pick it up. They're going to go buy a used or something, and the studios are still going to make more money that way.
So in some instances, the season pass kind of pays for itself. I know myself and Stitch, once you pay for the pass, if you play through the game, you're given in-game credit. And then that you can earn enough in-game credit to buy the next season pass instead of coming out of pocket. Fortnite.
I'm sorry, what was your example game? Sorry.
Call of Duty, Fortnite, Apex, all of them do this. If you play through the Battle Pass, they give you either V-Bucks, Call of Duty points, Apex coins. You earn enough in the Battle Pass, which is roughly towards the end, you'll have enough to purchase the next Battle Pass. As long as you keep playing and you keep getting that Battle Pass, you're kind of hooked in, but you're getting content.
Sounds like heroin.
Yeah, you're getting that content. But there's other games that are free, such as Warframe. Now Destiny 2 is free to play. They have stuff that you can buy in-game, but yet you get the game and its content for free.
Yeah.
And so
Also,
the stuff go ahead.
Oh, so also they for the PlayStation Plus, they added to their collection like a collection genre where you can play some of the classics from like PlayStation 4. Like I never got a chance to play God of War, and they're going to announce.
So good.
I know, yeah, they're going to announce all that's coming for free. God of War, Last of Us, Infamous. There was maybe like 15 or so games that are going to be now part of their PlayStation Plus collection line, where it's like if you have PlayStation Plus and I guess a PlayStation 5, you get instant access to those games. And you can just download it and play it for free with your PlayStation subscription. It's I know Xbox had like a sort of like Game Pass
Yeah,
kind
Game
of thing.
Pass. Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess this is their sort of dip into that pool of having these games accessible, but it's more of their PlayStation hits and classics.
Can I ask a question on that? I just want to make sure because I didn't quite get this. I get PlayStation Plus, obviously with our 2 games per month, and seems like there's a collection of it. But this sounds like it would be in direct competition with PlayStation Now and that whole streaming thing. Am I wrong on that?
It sort of is, but not. Yeah, PlayStation Now is an extra. It's an extra cost.
Okay.
So you don't get the PlayStation Plus. So this is giving us, a collection of games for quote unquote free. I mean, you're paying for PlayStation Plus, so technically it's not free. But let me just tell you which games are coming with it. The list isn't that long, but these are pretty much all AAA titles. All right, God of War, Last of Us Remastered, Uncharted 4, Battlefield 1, Monster Hunter World, Fallout 4, Final Fantasy 15, The Last Guardian, Ratchet & Clank, Infamous Second Son, Days Gone, Bloodborne, Detroit Become Human, Batman Arkham Knight, Mortal Kombat X, Persona 5, Until Dawn, and Resident Evil Biohazard. That's a fucking shitload of AAA games that are being included in your PlayStation Plus library. So I mean, this is one of the things I was trying to buy the PS5 today. I'm like, well, what game am I going to buy first for? There's not a whole lot of launch titles, but this alone, like having like the enhanced versions of these games on the PS5, it's going to be awesome. It's giving me even more of a reason to try and get this fucking console.
Yep. I thought now, just for I was just going to ask for launch titles. So do we have? I thought there was. Is the Sackboy the one with the Little Big Planet Sackboy? Is that launch one?
Yeah. So these are the games that are going to be getting on releases. We're getting Actual Playroom, which is pre-installed in the PS5, so it's a free game. We're getting Demon Soul. Mm-hmm. That's going to be $70. Destruction All Stars is another $70 game. Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales is going to be $50. Spider-Man, the Ultimate Edition is $70. Okay. And then we're getting Sackboy, A Big Avenger for $60. So Sackboy is one of the games.
So
those are just exclusive.
Yeah. So
this only that Sony announced that they're going to be launching. So there's some of the other games.
So if you're wondering why Spider-Man the Ultimate Edition is $70, it includes the original PS4 Spider-Man when you get it. So you basically
with all the DLC.
With all that, so you get 2 games basically for $70. So there you go.
Yeah,
sounds fucking dope.
Was there anything that you? I was gonna say for everybody, was there anything that you wish maybe that they had have included or something? Were there any like down points or anything with this presentation? For me, the only nitpick I could think of is like I would have liked to have seen maybe the interface of like the PlayStation like menu and stuff like that. Because I remember what I think I remembered with the 4, they showed like how like you could now all of a sudden share stuff and post stuff like online on your Facebook and stuff like that, and they gave a little bit of explanation on like the user interface. But that's just me nitpicking. But overall, I mean, it's like a 9.5 in terms of like excited and being hyped for it.
I was kind of seeing if they were gonna do like, so when we first saw their it wasn't the showcase, it was like their reveal. I wasn't sure if they're gonna do like the whole bundle pack where you get the headset, like a controller, or like a remote. I'm sorry, a remote, like a package deal, something like that. If that was going to be like maybe a $500 one, but I saw someone bought like the wireless headset. They look like he posted his receipt. His receipt said they're 150 for the wireless headset. So
I saw them were 100. When I was looking at Best Buy, they said that they were 100. Like those pulsed audio things, the one that PlayStation's selling, those are amazing headsets. Like it's got the 3D audio. I have the Platinum series for the 4, and it's fucking amazing. It's absolutely just so immersive. Like you're like looking up, like in your mind when you hear these sounds. So like I plan on just giving Lilo the mine from the 4 and then getting a new pair for the 5 and everything, because the 3D audio is a game changer. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah,
it's like VR porn.
There's 2 games that are being launch titles that I didn't know of. Well, I knew one. So Devil May Cry 5, the special edition, is going to be free digital on at launch for the PS5. But another game I didn't know was a launch title is going to be Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Nice. Yeah.
Nice.
So I guess it's coming out on November 10th for the other consoles, but it's definitely a launch title, and so is Demon's Souls.
Nice.
Yeah, Blue said Demon's Souls. That was the first game he mentioned.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's weird because on PC, Xbox One, and PS4, Valhalla comes out on the 24th or the 26th or something. But for the new consoles, it'll drop day 1.
Well, it says the 10th.
Oh,
is what it says for. I don't know.
Oh yeah. There'll be one for the new consoles, but the current gen it comes out like a couple weeks before apparently. So.
Yeah, for me the only thing I would love to see more, because I'm really excited about this one, is I hope I'm pronouncing it right. The Kinah, is that it? The one where you got the little
with
black.
The wand?
Yeah, with the wand fighting against mystical stuff and forest shit going on.
Oh.
It looks kind of interesting. I wanted to see a little bit more of that, and then I wanted them to go. And this may come out later, but I wanted them to go for the jugular, like they did last year with Modern Warfare, in terms of having some exclusive. I think it was Spec Ops on Modern Warfare that was exclusive on PlayStation 4 for a full year at launch, which was impressive as fuck. I wanted them to try to do that with Black Ops Cold War as well. That would have been just absolutely amazing, and it would have demonstrated that on a go-forward basis, Sony and Activision. While they're not having Call of Duty, it's way too big to have it be completely exclusive, but like timed exclusivity for some modes is huge. So I would have loved to have seen that.
One thing I hope we get, because I know they do this. I know we talked about bundles and every stuff earlier, but I know when they first announced the PlayStation 5, like people were making kind of custom artwork of what the PlayStation 5 will look like, and I hope we get either a SpiderMan like exclusive bundle that has like the cool SpiderMan logo on there, or a fucking Batman one. If they have a Batman one, I'm fucking buying that shit day 1.
So I heard there was a. So Blue, I thought you researched this, but I thought there was a. I don't know if it was first party or third party where they can customize your system.
Yeah,
I don't know how true it is, but the ones that I saw look pretty fucking legit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a lot of wraps out there that you can get, or you can take it somewhere where they can fucking like dip it or something to make it look cool. But if there was one that was actually Sony exclusive, I'm getting it.
Yeah, so I heard that there's like a pretty serious rumor that the sides of the PlayStation 5 you can take off and replace them with other ones.
Oh shit, that's fucking cool.
Yeah, so you can like change up the way it looks. It's a rumor, but it's been rumored like in multiple locations.
Okay.
So I guess we'll see what comes out.
Yeah, I
mean, it'd be cool to do. Not that I really give a shit. I just want to fucking play.
Yeah.
Like games. I don't really care what it looks like, but it'd be cool to like be able to customize.
I wonder if they'll release a black one.
Oh.
Yeah, they showed buckets of black ones.
Yeah, real quickly. So is that All Stars? What I can't remember the rest of the title, but the All Stars something. Is that the one that's online and kind of had Fortnite Battle Royale vibes to it from a couple months ago?
All Stars was like it was Sony's answer to Super Smash Brothers, wasn't it?
It's a fighting game. It's a fighting game.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, they had like all the Sony's shit
characters.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, only Sony exclusive characters. Like it had God
wait,
War,
maybe, are we talking about the same thing? The game.
Oh no, this is different. Okay, yeah, this looks. Okay, I know what you're talking about. This looks like a mix between like that fucking soccer car game.
Yeah, yeah.
Something else. Yeah.
But Rocket
Yeah,
League?
it looked like Twisted Metal meets
Rocket League,
Fortnite,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or Rocket League meets Fortnite, really.
Okay.
Oh, it's like gladiators. I know it was cars.
Okay, I remember now.
But I think
That's
you can
coming
get
at
out
launch?
of. I think you can get out of the cars and fight too.
Yeah, if your car blows up, you can get out and fight.
That game's being available at launch?
I believe so. I
Yeah,
think Blue
yeah.
mentioned it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't talk about it today, though, so
Yeah.
that's not a good sign.
Well, we will see. It would just be very interesting if we're talking about another Sony exclusive, because they didn't have they had some, but they didn't have a ton of exclusive multiplayer games. And if they're starting it off with a multiplayer game at launch, hopefully it'll get some buzz. But I want to see more of that. I would love to see maybe an extended trailer on that, especially if it's just less than 2 months away. We shall see.
It looks pretty decent. I'm watching it right now.
Holy
But yeah, it does
shit.
look like Soccer League meets Fortnite meets Twisted Metal.
Twisted Metal, it's so weird. Like, I thought that franchise was just going to keep going. And it feels like we haven't gotten one since, what, mid PS3?
They had some bad ones. Like, after 2 was amazing, and then they had, like, Twisted Metal Black, which was kind of and then there was another one that came out on the PlayStation 3. I think it might have just been called Twisted Metal, but it was just like they were starting just doing too much and everything, and it just lost a lot of the really fun appeal to it, the arcadey feel to it.
It's like I put Twisted Metal in the same realm with like Road Rash. Remember those?
Oh,
games?
those are
Oh
fun,
my
yeah.
God,
Road Rash was fucking awesome.
Jesus
But
Christ!
then it's like, they just kind of fell off.
Yeah.
Nobody played them anymore. It's like they kind of like defined the genre.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then just fell off. Well, it happens.
Well, I mean, look at Tony Hawk. They just released, what was it, last week or the week before that, a remaster of 1 and 2, and those games were on top of the fucking world in the PS2 era, really, maybe even PS1 era a little bit. I
You see that
mean,
video of him with the glass of milk?
was that really him,
yeah.
or was that CGI bullshit?
No, that was him.
Really? Holy
That's
fuck, man! God
Well,
bless
after
Tony
he's
You're
been
Stark.
mad
doing
because it
that
wasn't you.
stuff with the milk.
He's so great.
You're mad because it wasn't you, and he's older than you.
Yeah, he's ancient, but he's Tony Hawk, man. He's fucking Tony Hawk. I love it. And the other thing, I haven't played it quite yet, but they say that the soundtrack on that Tony Hawk remaster version or whatever is equally as good as the ones back in the day. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I want to do some fucking skating, man. Let's fucking go. Anyway, any other final thoughts on PS5? It sounds like everybody's wanting to pre-order but can't, except for Stitch.
Basically.
Pretty much. Yeah. Just
Hey.
waiting for Amazon to open up.
Probably. Well, I know
That's
Amazon
gonna be a
might
fucking
have
shit
some of
show. Amazon might that's gonna flood it. That's gonna put Amazon servers to the test. That's for damn sure.
I did notice that Amazon has some of the games available on there for the PS5 for pre-order. I think they were like exclusive, not exclusive, but they were like extended edition or gold edition. So they were like $110.
There was
They're
the
getting close.
link where you could go to the Amazon page and pre-order it, but when you go to that link now, it says like, oh, there's an error, or when you try to go to like that page. So they're probably gonna open it up and just get there as quick as you can, I guess.
Yeah, it's getting close now because I got access to the icon. Because before, if you search for PlayStation 5, you couldn't click on it. Like, it wouldn't even show the console. But now I see at least one link that shows the console. When you click on it, it says, sorry, can't find the page. So they're getting close to releasing it, releasing the pre-orders anyway. So we'll see. This is like my kind of last hurrah. I feel like this feels just like the fucking Nintendo Wii. Remember that shit?
Yeah, that was
Nintendo
hard to
came
come
out,
out.
and all of a sudden nobody
Hard
could
to
fucking
find.
buy it. Oh my fucking god, it was terrible. I had to keep trying to call up GameStops every Tuesday to see who had it in stock. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Even during the pandemic, like trying to get the Switch was fucking impossible. You had to like call and find out when they're going to get their ship date, and they'd be like, "Oh no, we're only getting 3 in, so you need to come like at this time if you want to pick it up."
Yeah, I hope they have as many as possible. Go ahead.
Prodigy, that picture that you showed of the PlayStation 5 controller, it has like the little indication of the fucking PlayStation logo. Not the PlayStation logo, but like the 4
Buttons.
symbols. Was that shit legit?
Yeah, it was legit. So the controller, at least the white launch one, when you zoom in all the fucking way on the picture, you see the X, triangle, circle, and square buttons kind of as like in the mesh of the bottom of the controller, and it looks so dope with the details, man. I can't wait to
That's
feel it.
actually the way it is on the actual console too. Like if you zoom in on the inside of like the shell,
Yep.
it's the same deal.
That
So yeah, it's like attention to detail is like pretty deep.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's all like plastic molding, so that shit just comes. There's no special guy in the back etching out the logos and every fucking console. It's all like plastic molding and shit, so it probably doesn't cost them anything to do.
Yeah, man. All right. Should we switch it up?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, where we going?
Do we want to actually, Kronos? Have you finished more of Cobra Kai?
Oh yeah, what's your take?
Just a little bit. So I'm on like maybe episode 4 of Cobra Kai. So it's a good show, but I'm watching like I'm splitting my time between that and Whoa.
Oh, okay.
and also kind of more recently Utopia, which is not out yet. It drops. I can talk about it now because there's no past the NDA period, but it's a new show on Amazon. I think it has the potential to be like the next The Boys. Like seriously, it's fucking dark and shit. But back to Cobra Kai. Yeah, I'm really enjoying Cobra Kai. It's like way better than I thought it was gonna be. Like everybody always said. I don't think anybody that's watched the show has said that it's bad. I think it's just really cool to get like the other side of the story from like basically everybody's perspective, and seeing that Daniel-san is kind of a dick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's kind of a dick.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But it's just like cool how they show like how they show Johnny's side too. How like looking from Johnny's side point of view makes Daniel really look like a fucking dick. Especially when they were in high school, like him hitting on his girl, and you know he was just trying to live his life, and he fucking poured the water on him and shit.
The writers should get a lot of credit for how they wrote up all the storylines for all the characters, because they're all compelling. They're not just like one note dimensional, just like, oh yeah, this is a jock, this is the girl that everyone wants to be with. They all have their qualities that make them really awesome, but they have something that make you think that they're kind of a piece of shit or whatever. It's like, yeah, Samantha, you would think that she's just all sweetheart, awesome girl and everything like that, but she's kind of a shitty girlfriend and everything as stuff starts to play out. And you see that, yeah, you see Miguel goes through his character arc. Johnny obviously goes through his. Daniel's son, he goes through moments obviously where he's shitty, and then sometimes you realize, okay, he's not that bad, and you're like, oh, he's being a dick again, and everything. So you constantly go through these up and downs with the characters, and it's written so well. It's like you side with all of the characters at like one point, and it's just so amazing. It like. With Game of Thrones, for example, we went through like years of us going through these arcs of just like, what's his name? Jaime Lannister is a piece of shit. Oh, well, actually, he's kind of cool. But that was done over like years and long played out story arcs with Brienne and everything. And it's like in 2 seasons, they managed for us to like legitimately change how we feel about certain characters and how we perceive them like as the story goes on. It's just really great writing. It's really believable, and it's fun. It's really fun to watch.
I heard, and this is just rumor mill shit, that season 3 may be already edited, according to like the director and some other folks. So we may be getting that much sooner than we anticipated. Because you got to remember, this dropped on YouTube Red, what, 2016, 2017, something like that. It's a couple years old now.
I think 2018.
Yeah. Oh, 2018. Okay. So.
But it's all on Netflix now.
Yeah.
Like seasons 1 and 2.
Yeah, but there's a teaser trailer that dropped on YouTube a while ago, and Daniel-san is fighting somebody, and he basically says something like, Miyagi was like a father to me. He would have told me everything, and then somebody throws him to the floor, and you see a fucking Sai go next to Daniel-san, and he's like, well, apparently he didn't tell you everything or something like that. So we're gonna get like, I don't know, because Karate Kid 3 took place Was it 2 or 3? 2. Fuck, I can't remember.
2 was in
took place
Okinawa.
in Japan. Yeah, okay, yeah, 2. And he like fights somebody there, and I think that person might be the big bad in season 3.
That'd be awesome.
There's rumors there might be 2 big bads, because Kreese had a friend of his teach in part 3, and so we might.
That's
see 2
right.
come by.
The wannabe Steven Seagal with the slick back hair.
Yep. So there's rumors that he might be in season 3, even though we haven't seen him yet. But yeah, hopefully
awesome.
Ali comes back. So then we might see new key players show up in season 3, which will add a whole new level of craziness to what's already fucked up in the series. So
yeah.
Quick question: Why on earth are people going crazy about Chris Evans, Captain America? I guess did he have a leak of his fucking dick? Is that what that was?
Yeah, apparently he accidentally leaked his dick pic on Twitter.
Well, everybody kept saying that he had America's ass, so he had to show America his dick.
America's dick? I guess.
What the
But like,
fuck?
I guess because he's Chris Evans, everyone gets to forgive him. All the girls get to swoon. Nobody's calling him out or whatever. I mean, he deleted it. Like,
It was an
fairly
accident,
quickly.
though, right?
Yeah, it was an accident.
Right.
He admits that it was an accident. It's supposed to go to somebody private, but you know, he put it out there. I mean, the thing is, people keep comparing him to. A lot of people keep comparing him to Ray Park. So Ray Park, during like one of the events that they're holding for, I don't know what they were saying, like he may show up in one of these series, and then all of a sudden on Instagram there's a video of him getting a blowjob, and he had to take it down, but there was enough people that saw it, so they're like, well, what the fuck? So people were calling him out, saying he fucked up, his career's over, all this stuff, but then Chris Evans does it, and he's still America's golden boy. I mean, he's not getting a blowjob.
What That's a big difference.
Well, Colin Farrell, or whatever his fuck name is, he was like fucking some chick in a video that was leaked.
Oh.
So I guess maybe it was an accident. I think his shit was hacked.
So, oh god, so there's a difference between like when you're engaged in a sexual act.
Oh
then,
yeah.
Like, I didn't see the dick pic, so like, was it just something he was just presenting his dick, and he accidentally shared a story instead of sharing with someone personal? Is that what happened, or was it? Okay.
It sounded like it's supposed to be like a DM dick pic. You just put it on Instagram.
Okay. So, yeah. So
like an old man would do.
What's the big deal?
I don't know these buttons.
I think the only big deal is just his level of celebrity. I think that's the only reason why people give in a single solitary fuck. And
I think
No, I mean it's kind of a big deal if you put off, if your whole persona is like a family person and you have kids following you on Instagram, and all of a sudden you accidentally tweet out or Instagram out your fucking dick. I mean, yeah, it's an accident, but you could probably traumatize or not traumatize a bunch of kids. So, there's that aspect of it.
He does. He definitely has a PG, squeaky clean image, and I've never heard of him being in any trouble in any respect. So yeah, you got.
Not yet. Yeah, you have to for something to watch.
I heard him spin it saying I just want to remind you all to vote or something like that. I think he tweeted out something like that to try to
vote on my dick.
Oh,
is that the biggest one you've ever seen?
Yeah.
There you go.
God damn.
He's like, now that I got your attention, make sure to vote.
Oh, damn.
He's like, it was a big Lenny Kravitz's dick that popped out of his fucking pants when he was singing on some concert.
I forgot about that shit.
I heard about that.
He was okay too.
Yeah,
of
sure.
course. It was an accident.
I told him, yeah. See, if we forgot about it, then there you go.
Well, yeah. I mean, we're not Lenny Kravitz nor Chris Evans.
I mean,
yeah.
So maybe not you. I'm just saying. Sometimes a snake gets out and it could be large.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh my God.
I like what Mark Ruffalo tweeted out. He said, "Chris Evans, bro, while Trump is in office, there is nothing you could possibly do to embarrass yourself."
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe.
Ruffalo seems like a good guy. No harm, no foul. Yeah. At first, when I saw him fucking trending or something, I was just like, "Oh shit! Did he get caught up in some fucking
Me Too shit?"
Harvey Weinstein shit, you know.
Oh
Of
no,
course
that'd
not,
been all
so.
bad.
Yeah, that's all good. All right. Do we want to get into some Lovecraft back to TV, or should we?
Oh man, my favorite fucking episode so far.
Ooh, high praise.
Have y'all watched this shit yet?
Yes.
Damn. This latest episode, Lovecraft Country, the beginning fucked me up. Like the first 5 goddamn minutes, I was like, "What the fuck am I watching?" All right, listen. If you haven't watched episode 4 of Lovecraft Country, you can stop listening for a while. we're gonna spoil some shit for you. This is past the 48-hour rule, so we should be fine. Just fair warning. All right. So anyway, the episode starts with this Caucasian chick waking up in bed, totally naked, and then all of a sudden she wakes up and she looks at like her hands and she's just like, "What the fuck?" And so Kemet caught on right. She called it right away. Yep. She knew who the fuck it was immediately. I had no fucking idea. I was like, I don't know. And so this person, ends up putting on a robe, walking outside, is all kind of timid, and people are getting out of the, because she goes to like a black neighborhood, and everybody's getting the fuck out of her way. She bumps into some black kid who's eating popcorn, and like the police see it, and they're about to fuck this kid up, and she's just like, no, like he was trying to help me do something, and it turns out that it's what's her name?
Ruby.
Ruby, that's what it is, Ruby. She's like the singer in the show, who's like an African American singer, and somehow she turns into a white chick, which is kind of crazy. And then so the police come and take her home, and they're like, "Oh, don't worry, your husband told us that you might be confused, and just bring you home." And on the way home, like her bones start cracking and shit. The first thing I saw was her eyes change color. And I was like, what the fuck? And that's when I was like, oh shit, it came back, you're right. That's her. And like bones start cracking and shit. And then she eventually gets into the house, and immediately like she gets like the dude brings her into the house. Why I forget the guy's name?
William.
But brings her in. Was it William? Yeah, brings her into the house, and then it's like Dexter.
Yep.
Like there's fucking plastic all over the ground. I was like, okay, is she gonna fucking die? Like what the fuck's going on in here? And then all of a sudden, like, puts her on the ground, and like you see like these ripples in the skin, and I'm just like, what the fuck? And then what looks like a hand going over the hand? And I was just like, is there a person stuck in the fucking body? And then like she's trying to scream, and you see when she's screaming, there's an eyeball looking around inside the mouth. And I was like, whoa, what the fuck is going on here? And then William's like, oh no, don't worry, we're gonna, it just hurts like the first time, it's the worst. Don't worry about it. And he pulls out a knife, stabs this person in the chest, rips her open, and starts tearing out entrails, right? Which I thought was entrails. And then in the next scene, Ruby's just quote unquote fine, bloody as fuck on the couch. So she was inside that body. And so that's how the episode starts.
You also need to mention though that the white girl that she's playing is the chick from the farm with the German Shepherd.
Yep.
That's what. Oh, I didn't put them together. Okay.
Yeah, that
was way more redneckish in that episode.
Yeah, because I was like looking at her, I was like, who? I was like, wait a minute. I was like, that's the chick, and I was like, yeah, that's definitely her. So like, I'm confused on that whole aspect of it, how it intertwines and everything, and maybe we get some clarity, or maybe I might have missed something. But I was like, that's that chick from the silo that was feeding the fucking dogs and shit like that. And I was like, now she's her now. But I was like, oh shit, it's like Freaky Friday.
Yeah.
Dude, I fucking love the gore. Kronos already described it, but holy shit. Every time there's this caterpillar, cocoon, metamorphosis shit, it's so bloody as fuck. Yeah. It's like so gory.
Cheese flying off her face and shit like that.
Yeah,
like,
you can hear it.
Makeup crew, special effects. They get lots of love on this.
Yeah.
This is some epic shit. This is well done.
Yeah, it looked so realistic and so off the hook. Just again, horror movie, Ash versus Evil Dead level quality awesomeness. Even better actually. I love that aspect of it. But the thing that was a trip to me, and I don't know if I'm going to be on my own on this, but the other big reveal in the episode, and we talked about it a little bit last week. So Montross is obviously completely out of the closet and getting down with the bar owner. The thing that was a trip to me, I don't have any problem with that. So don't, we don't have to put words in my mouth or anything about that. But what I was going to say is, for a 1950s Chicago black neighborhood to have what appears to be an openly gay drag show was a little shocking to me, because I was like, really, in the 50s, huh? That was, I don't know if that's true or not. I haven't looked it up, but immediately my jaw was on the floor for the time period. What did you guys think?
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, they definitely didn't have shape-shifting chicks either. So.
No, of course.
Correct.
But you know how they
but yeah, I get you.
They add these nuggets of like obviously real Jim Crow level, like historical events, of course, with the sundown towns and all of that. And then when I saw that, I looked at Mishka and I was just like, I wonder if that's legit or not, because this is before, really like the gay movements in San Francisco and New York and whatnot. This, again, 50s, I had always heard about police raiding gay bars and shit and basically arresting people for being gay in them.
It's kind of like a blank in terms of like a historical reference point where I can judge the bar and like how realistic it is. I'll just take it for their word, because I'm sure they've done more research and are more knowledgeable on it than I was. I mean, I've never visited Chicago or anything like that, and I sure as hell don't know the history of Chicago or the drag queen nightlife, underground sort of speakeasy kind of thing going on there at the time. So I was just sort of taking it in for what it is, and I was like, well, I guess, because I don't know any better. Michael K. I don't know if because I'm a big fan of Michael K. Williams, like from his portrayal of Omar. I think it's Nookie, or I forget the guy's character he played on Boardwalk Empire. But I think I don't know if he's gay in real life or not. But like I mean, I wasn't really surprised. They kind of hinted at it like during the course of like previous episodes and stuff like that. I don't know for sure if Tick knows fully about his dad's sexual preference. It seems like everybody else knows.
Yeah.
And they kind of like laugh at Tick, and I don't know if Tick full on knows, or if, like, he's got a hint of it as well.
So I got a bit of it from the previous episode. The guy that showed up and was a tag along. There's a scene where Tick is looking for the map, looking for a way to get into the tunnels or whatnot. And the guy that's with them, he brings it up about why do you think your dad was there? I've seen your dad there a bunch of times, and that's what draws Tick out of his focus. And he's like, he kind of steps to him a little bit, and he's like, well, what do you think he's been doing this whole time? And then Tick goes back to finding the map because he's like focused on, he knows that he's close. So I knew that was a dig, and then literally we see what happens with his dad and what he goes on to this current episode. So I think it was hinted pretty heavily in the previous episode. In this one, we see full on what's been going on.
Getting them cheeks clapped.
So let me go back to what Prodigy was saying, if you're wondering about time period. So you're right, it doesn't go back that far, but there were gay bars in the 60s. The first one that I can see is a place called Jeffrey's Pub in Chicago, and this was in the early 60s. So it wasn't too far to kind of be removed, but there definitely was, and obviously this is like the first openly gay bar, and there's definitely ones before that time period, let's be honest. Back then, it very likely could have been, sort of private gay bars in Chicago. So I didn't realize that was a thing back then either.
Yeah.
Also,
not even in the 60s.
As the story progressed in the episode, as what's their names, with the Rubies, with her coworkers, the white other coworkers, they want to go to the South Side and party with the black people and everything. And once again, I'm sort of like, I don't I don't know how to reference this in terms of like, is this like extreme danger no or whatever? Because like some of the stuff is just like, no, that's a bad fucking idea. But then they get there and it's like all kind of like cool. Like I understand this is not the South; it's technically the North, but racism is still racism, and I mean, didn't really matter in terms of a lot of stuff that was going on. In terms of, like when you saw the sheriffs pull the people over in the sundown town, that was still in the North technically.
Yep.
So I was kind
You
of
gotta read some Stitch. You gotta read some books, man.
well, like in what part?
Well, just to realize that, like, people say, you know, this is how previous thought too. It's like once it went to the North, everything was okay.
Well, yeah,
No, the fuck it wasn't.
well, yeah, that's exactly what I said. I said that even though it is the North, I know that shit is not okay because, like we saw previously in the show, that sundown town was in the North and everything. So, like, I understand that just because you're in the North or above the Mason-Dixon line doesn't mean everything is all good. We're just in a happy, peaceful rainbow society. I know that is not the fact. I know that. What I'm saying, though, is that for them to be in this bar in the black area of Chicago, the white girls dancing with the black guys and everything, I was just like, it seems like a little bit high risque, especially with a lot of the racial tension that we already have seen previously in the show. I was kind of like, I don't know how alarmed I should be about this behavior, but everyone in that bar seemed like they were cool with it. It wasn't really a problem with the girls dancing, grinding on the white girl. I mean, the guys dancing, grinding on the white girls and stuff like that. So there wasn't really a problem.
So I'm gonna school you right here, Stitch. See, back in my day, when I was if you were black and you went down to a white club, you most likely were gonna get turned away or ran the fuck out of town. But if you're a white and you went down to the South Side, they weren't gonna turn them away because they knew if they did, they could bring the law with them and fuck their whole place up. So they would invite them in, let them have a good time, and hopefully get word of mouth to where more people would come because they spend money. You know, if they like the place, they bring more of their white friends. They spend more of their money. And in my day, we had, you know, plenty of fun times with all these middle class white ladies coming down in there. So,
This
you know,
motherfucker. You and Detroit Red and all the folks.
So Detroit Red and I, we had some issues and whatnot, but I mean, it literally only lasted a day, and we was cool after that.
West Indian Archie, I get you.
No, fuck that dude.
Whoa. Sorry. This was I'm actually with you, Kronos, in terms of this being a really good. I haven't disliked any episode. Let me just flat out say that. But I thought this one was absolutely fucking fun. I feel like Letty usually steals scenes to me. Like, she's been the best thing on this fucking show in terms of, like, just actor for actor. But Ruby showed her entire ass on this show, on this episode. And then, obviously, as Stitch always calls her, Emma Frost brings it as well. And, you know, we did a kind of a spoiler last week because we said, hey, it looks like they're leading towards Emma Frost and boy Emma Frost being the same person. But they came out and did that shit quite well. What y'all think?
Yeah, like when I didn't, maybe I missed the part last podcast when somebody said that because I definitely didn't know.
Oh yeah.
But damn, when that happened, I was like, holy shit, this is amazing. Like, fucking amazing. Mm-hmm. I love that shit.
Actually, yeah, you did walk out when we were talking about it because Prodigy suspected, and someone else I know that I'm watching the show with, they suspected as well. And I was like, I kind of see it, but I'm not sure. He's like, we never see the two of them on screen at the same time. So that's kind of a giveaway. And information, like when William first meets Rose, he had information about Rose that he would only known if he got it from somebody else.
You mean
about Ruby? Yeah, about Ruby. I'm sorry. He had information about Ruby. Yeah. I tried to act like he didn't know who she was or whatnot. So it was interesting to see that come about, and it was kind of gross at the same time for it come out of this dude's shell. But it's
we're not going to talk about the sodomy that happened at the very end.
Oh, Go ahead, Stick.
We forgot about that.
Yeah, I had
No,
blocked
we-
that
With the red
taken
bottom
out.
shoes with the
Oh,
stick.
yeah.
Well, I mean,
They're 6-inch heels.
Yeah, she put that heel where the sun don't shine.
Wait, hold up. Say it right.
Took
Say
off
it
the
right.
belt.
She made him suck it first to lube it
yeah.
up.
Yeah. While playing your girl Cardi B on the soundtrack and everything.
No, see, they made a poor choice of song. You know what they should have done? They should have played the Beyonce song, the 6-inch heel song.
Oh,
That's what they should have done while stabbing that dude in his ass.
Oh
I
man!
was like,
it was a great revenge too, because everybody obviously hated him. The only reason why he hired the black girl who just happened to apply was because he wanted to fucking fuck her, and then when he got turned down, he was gonna fire her, and obviously Ruby already didn't like that motherfucker for a multitude of reasons. But when she got her fucking revenge, holy shit, that was a scene. I wanted you to know it was a Negro bitch that did this to you. What the fuck?
Damn.
And it's funny. It's because she's transforming as she's fucking his ass with the shoe. Like her skin is peeling off all over the back of him.
I call it stabbing violently, but all right.
It's just all bad. And she's like,
was like that scene from oh god, I was in a movie with oh shit, Death by Temptation, where the chick she's fucking around with this gay dude, and she's like dry humping his butt, and he's like, what the fuck is that? And he's like, oh my god, and the chick basically grows the fucking dick and starts fucking him in the ass.
that sounds like Bible Black, but
No, this is. You guys remember the movie Death by Temptation? It had
No,
it had
never heard it.
It had Dwayne from Different World in it, and like his cousin's like a pastor, and he comes to visit his cousin. You guys need to watch that movie.
You got a deep cut going on here, Blue. I like
it. It was like I heard the record scratch right there.
Yeah. But actually, shout out to Jonathan Majors, who plays Tick on this show. If the sources are to be believed, it looks like he's going to be playing Kang in the
Kang the Conqueror.
Yeah, Kang the Conqueror in the next Ant-Man movie.
Wait, the time traveling guy?
Yeah.
Yep.
Huh, that's interesting. Well, he's gonna be blue, obviously, so it doesn't matter what fucking skin tone he is.
Exactly.
That'd be me.
Yeah, that's gonna be an interesting character. Potentially very psychotic, potentially.
Absolutely.
So,
the other thing,
this would be really interesting.
my only hope for him is that I hope he's not a fucking one and done. I think he's, just in terms of Marvel lore and whatnot, and his villainy with time travel and all the fucked up shit he does, he should be in more than one movie, kind of like Loki was in several movies, possibly.
Yeah, I mean, shit. Like Kang is. What comic was I reading? He's in some comic. I think it's with the latest.
Dr. Doom?
I can't remember. Yeah, he's in Dr. Doom. Yeah, where he's just like kind of helping him out, but not being like extra crazy. Yeah,
he's great in that.
Great book. The latest. Like, what the fuck happened to that book? Like, I don't know if it just dropped off or what.
I'm a little bit behind, but I might have been on number 8, 9, or 10, somewhere in there, and
but I think it just stopped.
Maybe it could have,
because it was a good run, and then all of a sudden it just kind of stopped.
Yeah, no, I've loved it. That was my big introduction, at least in recent Marvel comics, with Kang, because I hadn't seen him in a while. But this is a huge role for him, man. This could be fucking it. So in terms of movie stuff, because I hadn't seen him in any movies other than the Five Bloods Spike Lee one from earlier this year.
You know what's weird about that dude is that he looks like he wears like normal size clothes or slightly over a big clothes. What do you call it? Slightly too big clothes. He looks like a normal size dude.
Yeah.
But then once he takes his shirt off, it's like motherfucker's yoked as
Oh
shit.
yeah,
It's
he's
so
super
weird.
yoked.
Yeah.
He's super
Oh,
yoked.
shit,
But
Samuel
yeah,
Jackson's in his movie Death by Temptation. Forgot about that.
I'm gonna have to see this movie.
I'm watching the trailer right now.
Is it a 90s movie, Blue?
Yeah, it came out in 1990.
God damn. All right.
Are you, Prodigy, are you caught up on The Boys?
I am unfortunately not, but please go ahead. I'm gonna freshen up my drink. Go ahead, y'all.
Did everybody else watch episode 4 or no?
Oh yeah.
I'm caught up, but I have to remember what happened. Yeah.
Okay. What were your guys' thoughts on it? With everything progressing, with Stormfront getting a little bit more brazen, and
Well,
you kind of see
fucking
the
Homelander got to
takeover.
fuck her shit up.
Yeah, Homelander can't really hurt her. I think that's eventually he's gonna figure it out. She already knows, but Homelander can't hurt her like at all. So she's gonna take over the fucking. She's gonna take over the 7 and likely do some other really fucked up shit. But she's gonna keep fucking with him, and because he thinks that he's intimidating her with his typical bullshit.
She's fucking playing him.
He can't hurt her.
Yeah.
He like
she's potential, and she's older than she looks.
he like can't get a good read on her either, because it's like she was saying that line or whatever about like helping her, her helping him, and it was like he didn't know if like she was flirting with him or and stuff, but he was kind of confused and shit because he just it's like he lacks people skills, obviously, because he's just so used to just fucking laser beaming people.
Yeah.
Choke the motherfuckers out in the elevators.
Yeah, but we see that I guess either Stormfront is Liberty or maybe Liberty's daughter or something. Based on
It's the same person.
Same person, yeah.
So that's interesting to see how that plays out, because I don't know the time, I guess the year that all that shit happened where she killed that girl's brother and stuff, but
well, I think he
obviously racist.
50 years ago. Yeah, I think the woman had said it was 50 years ago.
Yeah, she says it was like shortly after the World War II or something, and she talks about what happened to her brother and how I guess Vought basically paid the family off to be quiet. Yeah. So
gave him what, $10,000 to shut up?
Something like that. But I mean, remember back then that was a shit ton of money.
Yeah, that's true.
So that was pretty interesting. We got to learn more about Mother's Milk as well. Like, we didn't know shit about his dad. He talked about it's pretty much his motivation on why he works with Butcher, and about how his dad was a lawyer trying to fight the good fight, and he basically died fighting, pretty much. Yeah. And he says he likens his fight to a curse. This is the curse passed from his dad to him.
Yeah, you also see Butcher come to terms with what's his wife's name? Is it Rebecca?
Oh, Becca, yeah.
Yeah.
When he doesn't come to terms with it, she fucking basically forces his ass to leave.
Yeah, I mean, you do see he is still kind of a dick or whatever. She's just like, he's just like so revenge focused and everything that like she knows that like he will never like let this go and everything, and like it was kind of fucked up. You can see like he doesn't even care about like the kid, and even though like obviously the kid is technically like a rape baby or whatever, it's still her son.
Okay.
And Butcher doesn't even care.
So before you go on, I could have sworn that she wasn't raped. Like on the videotape, they show that she willingly hooked up with Homelander in like an office where she like grabs onto him and hugs him and like he spreads her out. Because that's what it looked like. If I remember correctly, that's what the tape looks like. And I think she lied to Butcher, or someone lied to Butcher and said that she was raped and then killed. And you find out that she wasn't killed.
I think that video could have likely been a fake.
Oh, very much. That's very, very true. Could have been.
She also said in her own words too that he had forced himself on her.
Yeah.
So she said because that's straight from the horse's mouth, but oh shit, I forgot what I said. But we got to see what was this episode where Homelander is kind of hanging out with the kid, or was that last season where he?
No, it was a couple. It was a couple episodes ago, but this is the one where it looks like Spielwell, is that her name, was alive, and we're like the
doppelganger.
Yeah, we find out that Homelander's doing his little
that fucked in my head
live action fantasy with Spillwell and the nighty and whatnot, and like drinking milk and stuff, and And like the whole time, I'm like, I thought she was dead. Is she really dead?
Me too. I'm like,
and then all of a sudden, as Homelander's got his head in her lap, you hear kind of the same.
bubbling.
Yeah, you hear the same kind of stuff from Lovecraft Country with the bones cracking and the bubblies and stuff, and you see that it's a man who's a shapeshifter, is shapeshifted into basically Homelander's favorite fantasy. And I was like, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
Oh man, I fucked it everything up. I was like, oh shit. And like it's funny because Homelander is taking out his fantasy. He pops up, he's all change back right now. Change back now. He can't even look at the dude. He's like, you need to change back right now. Right now.
Wait,
fucking
so
do it now.
My question is, did he fuck her? Because like when he first gets to that shed, like they're making out something like that, and it cuts to black. So I'm like, oh sure, they smash or whatever. But then next thing is like him and his head on the lap. So
I
guess the guy's a girl. I mean, this is borderline fucking Black Mirror. It's
yeah,
like,
I mean,
said he had sex with the dude who's actually a female, but the guy shapeshifts into a female. So is it like the same? Like, where do we go from here?
I don't know, man. I don't know how that all works. We didn't see parts, but
Well, I mean, that's like Lovecraft Country. Like the chick that was in the dude's skin fucked the chick. So
yeah, I mean,
is she a lesbian now, or?
that's true. He sure he fucked her on the steps. So I mean, maybe he did. I mean, it's still either way. No matter any way you spin it, it was creepy. No matter what, it was like creepy because he was treated kind of like a baby.
Yeah, that's how she treated him back in the last season too. Treat him like a baby.
Yeah, she did. She did.
Like he actually didn't she also like whip out her titty for him to suck on?
Probably, if I remember right. I mean, she kept breast milk on the ready. Because, I mean, she had a kid, but she also had some for him. Which is crazy.
And we're at technically the halfway point for the boys, because I think it's, 8 episodes? So this is episode 4.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're halfway through and everything. So far, I mean, I'm enjoying it.
He was able to get a little bit of that super walk up in the hotel with Homegirl.
Oh, with Starlight?
Yeah, they smashed. Even though, like, Huey wanted to get in the same room with her, but since Mother Milk was there, he's like, there's only 2 rooms available. I guess I'm sleeping with Mother Milk or something like that. But, he wanted to go in there with Starlight.
He's all, yep, that's
she
the
wanted
best.
him, too, because she, like, texted him, was like, hey, I don't know what kind of candy bar to get. And he comes out to help her out.
He knew what candy to get. She knew exactly what to get. All that Nutter Butter.
Oh, Christ.
Real quick, shout out to Clay the bartender.
Oh, okay.
So I accidentally dropped the link already in the chat. So if y'all are wondering what I dropped in the chat, so Clay the bartender, who is my favorite bartender of all time, he makes some of the best drinks I've ever tasted, ever. This is like legit. He is in a competition for a virtual cocktail competition called Power of the Palate, and it's during Black Restaurant Week, which I probably would have been a little bit different had there been no COVID-19. But it's sponsored by Maker's Mark, and he's been progressing through the rounds for this competition. So if y'all could do us a favor, and him a favor, really, and vote for him during this latest round and in subsequent rounds, we'd really appreciate it. I already put the link in the chat, and I'll put it also in the description of the podcast, so everybody can vote for Clay. He's a good dude, makes great drinks.
Representing Oakland.
Deserves to win this thing. Yeah, he's representing Oakland. So yeah.
Yeah, I saw the link go up on I think it was Sunday. I put my vote in, so get the word out and show our boys some love.
Yeah, I know.
He's the only guy left in his category. In his region right now.
Wait, so he's the only West Coaster, or
he's the only male?
Oh, okay.
In his group right now.
We should probably try to get him on. Kind of go over the competition once he wins, because gonna win. No.
There was there was maybe 4 other people, right? It was down to 5 people. I was like, she's getting close.
I think there's more because he's on. Well, I guess around 8. So maybe there's all that's left.
Okay, because when I scrolled down or whatever, I think his was like the last name that came up or whatever, and I was like, because I thought I was scrolling, I was like, shit, I was like, he's got a little bit to go, and I was like, oh no, he's right here, and it's the end of the page. So I was like, all right. So I thought it was like maybe like 4 or 5. So I don't know if it's like the semifinals or quarterfinals kind of thing or whatever, but he's progressing through. So
yeah, wherever eventually when this is all over and he gets a job at a bar again, that's the first place I want to go is wherever he's working to like get a drink from is from him.
Yeah, so right now,
Like,
I'm checking out his competition. So it's him versus 3 females. One's from Detroit, another one's from Kansas City, and one's from LA.
Okay.
oh, we got to vote for the Bay Area.
That's
Yeah.
the Bay.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But this one,
For
Yeah, so last year Clay broke my streak for Sober October, and Sober October's coming up again. Obviously in October, I'm gonna do it again, and unfortunately, he won't be able to bring me out of my sobriety this year because I won't be able to go to a bar for a while. But whenever you get a gig again at wherever you're gonna work, and it's safe for me to come out for my family, you'll serve my first drink wherever you're at. So yeah.
there you go.
Y'all
want to talk about this show?
Woke. Let's talk about Woke.
Yeah, that's the show y'all keep talking
Oh,
about.
it's a great show,
dude. So Woke is this show on that was dropped on Hulu last week, and I can't think of the actress they're in it, but basically it's about it's almost like a black guy who believes that nothing's kind of going wrong, like all the stuff you hear in the news about black folks is just like it won't happen. It's basically a black person who's always like it's not gonna happen to me, it's not gonna happen to me, until it does happen to him. So that caused him to be woke, and like all of these inanimate objects starts talking to him, and it starts fucking with him. It's like that. Yeah. So I think JB Smoove is in it. He plays the voice of like one of the markers. Cedric the Entertainer is in there as one of the voices of the character. The girl Nichelle, something. The girl from Nailed It on Netflix. She's on there as well. But yeah, you just see this guy goes from like kind of going with the flow of society to understanding that like yeah, black folks aren't treated that well and like this and that. But dude, this show's fucking hilarious. Like the stuff that happens. He's originally a cartoon illustrator. So they have this thing called like Toast and Butter or something like that. And basically, whenever butter gets like whenever bread gets really mad, he starts to turn more black, like kind of burnt toast. And you spread butter on him to lighten him back up, so he's back to being normal, which is like the main metaphor of like what's going on. But he has this fucking roommate. So Blake Anderson is also in it. The guy from what's the name of that show with the 3 guys? Office, not Office Space. Shit. But he's in it, and also there's this other black guy. But this other black guy, he's like a hustler, so he like sells shoes and this and like.
Clovis is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, this dude is fucking hilarious. Like there's this one I know Cronus you talk about in the chat room where he goes up to this Asian chick and try to hit on her, and she fucking just clowns him and calls him something like just fucking walked out. But man, this show is fucking hilarious. I've watched. It's 8 episodes on Hulu right now. It's only 30 minutes long, but I powered through it in one fucking day. It was so fucking funny. Which I got.
Isn't the guy from what is it the New Girl? Isn't he on there?
Yeah, it's the main character.
Okay. Yeah, he's the main character.
Okay.
At first I thought
he's a Winston on New Girl.
At first I thought it was because there was an actor from Saturday Night Live who was in LA who got pulled over. Like he was just walking the street and like the cops ran up on him and had him get on the ground and like arrested him, and he had told them like, hey, yeah, like whoever you think I am, I'm not that person. Like just check my ID or Google my name and you'll see who I am. And like they basically realized that he's an actor, so they just kind of left him alone. But like they basically threw him on the ground and fucking handcuffed him. So I thought this story was based off of that, but I think it's kind of its own tale. What's your take on the show, Stitch?
Yeah, no, it's really good. I think I saw it like when we recorded last week. I said I was when we were closing out, I was gonna try to check it out, and I checked it out that night, and I was like, oh, this is fucking hilarious. But yeah, pretty much like how you gave the description. It's just sort of this guy who's just carefree, living in San Francisco. He's got his 2 sort of kind of nutty roommates and everything. The black pudgy dude who kind of just tries to bang whatever girls he can by lying to him. And then you got this this white dude who, I guess they describe him as like kind of refuse. He's like refusing to like conform to like technology and stuff like that because like he's in this battle with one of his other tenants about paying rent, but he doesn't want to accept like PayPal or Venmo. He wants cash and stuff like that. So he's just little funny quirks and everything with his roommates, but he's trying to get people to go to his I think it's called Golden Con or something like that he's doing a panel for. So he's posting up flyers. And while he's posting up flyers, cops roll up on him and think he's like a robbery suspect, throw him on the ground and got him at gunpoint and everything, and roughing him up and shit like that, and treat him like the stuff like he's guilty and shit. And then the white roommate rolls up. He's like, "Yo, you guys can't do that." And he's like poking the cops in their chest and like pushing on them and just doing all this like egregious stuff that like only a white person would be able to get away with, like to the cops and stuff like that. And then like they get a call over the radio. They're like, "Oh yeah, we got the wrong guy." They're like, "Oh, we got the wrong guy. All right, go on." And that's the point where the main character, like, he's just like, "What the fuck just happened?" And it's like he can't see things like how he used to before the incident. So like the whole premise of the show is like, oh, he's woke now, and so he's seeing all these things that like he was just kind of oblivious to. Like when he went to the scene where I started dying laughing at like 3 a.m. was when he's at the barber shop. He realizes like it's supposed to be it's completely gentrified now and stuff like that. It's just like a bunch of white dudes or whatever that are cutting hair.
The barbershop is like originally named like Clevis or something like that. Clevis Barbershop.
Yeah, and he's like supposed to be like from like Queen. I forget where the guy was from or whatever, but he like leaves the barbershop and like that's when I guess the marker or the trash can starts talking to him. And he's like, you know what to do. And then you hear the music, like the Public Enemy, like Fight the Power intro comes in, and he grabs the trash can and he tries to throw it through the windshield, like in Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing, but it just bounces off the glass window because he doesn't throw it hard enough, and it's fucking hilarious. But it's a really really funny show, good comedy. It's a really easy watch. I mean, it's 30 minutes, just kind of like how Cobra Kai is 30 minutes. And it's a lot of good laughs, and it's got a lot of good points that they're trying to make on society.
I like how the roommate is trying to sell an energy powder that you can sniff with your nose.
The funny shit to me was like later on in the first episode where the guy that they were looking for that fucked up for the police robs him.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my god, this is fucking perfect. The fact that it's just set in like San Francisco is like excellent as well.
Dude, the way they interact too, because the guy's like, "Oh yeah, I saw you earlier today," and he's like, "Oh yeah," he's like, "Yeah, I saw you get roughed up by the cops or whatever." He's like, "Oh man, that shit was fucked up because they were looking for me." He's like, "Wait, what?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm the guy they were looking for." He's like, "What?" He's all, "Yeah, so nice bag."
Yeah.
And the whole Rent a Black Guy thing was absolutely hilarious. I was like, that's fucking priceless.
I saw that it had been a disaster like right away. I think this is funny. You know what's hilarious is that there's like friends of mine that will never watch the show because they're more of like, I don't like to lump in right wing guys, but they are like right wing people. So they're gonna think that, oh, it's called woke, I'm not gonna like this show. But it's like, listen, I'm not woke. You know what I mean? I don't like using the phrase woke. I'm more educated now than I was, but I just don't like the phrase in general woke. But this show is like spot on of like how you would feel once you realize that, hey, especially in California, where you live here, you know, if especially if you're of African descent living here, and you think that, oh yeah, it's all kumbaya, you know, where it's all good, this racism is gone, but it's like, no, it's not. Like I was talking to K-Mac, like I'm like watching this, it's like, yeah, I go to San Francisco for SF Beer Week, you know, every year, and I would say 96% of the time, everywhere that I go, I'm the only black guy there.
Oh yeah,
only black guy there, and it's like I'm not trying to go to places that it's all white people, but it's just like that's just the way it is, you know. So for people to tell you that, you know, in California, you know, no matter where you go, it's all diversified. It's like it depends on where the fuck you go, you know. Yeah, it's good here in California for the majority of schools to have diversity, but when you go to still like a lot of places there, even with schools, shit depends on where the fuck you live.
Yeah.
Like if you go to Blackhawk, Shit, probably that fucking diversified.
Marin County, one of the richest counties in the entire
Yeah.
fucking world, is also one of the least diverse, and that includes for wealthy, tech savvy Asian. Like it is not diverse for South Asian, East Asian, Latino. Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I like how they really shine a light on that for like a lot of people, because I think people in California are kind of living under a false pretense of that redlining still isn't affecting parts of California because we were forced to live in certain places, and I like that they did that because we're living in kind of like a fantasy world in parts of California where we think that we're all diversified, but we're really not. Just really.
I mean, like if you look at the news, like one of the first Karen incident was like one that happened in Oakland. Where we had like a black family trying to barbecue, but then all of a sudden we had something in San Francisco where a girl had a lemonade stand and some fucking Karen came up like, "Hey, where's your permit?"
Yeah.
Mind your business.
So what about the negative aspect of stuff we've watched on well, I haven't watched, but stuff that's been released on Netflix with this cuties.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
This stuff.
Okay.
Have anybody watched it yet?
Goddamn.
Hell no.
No, and I'm not going to. But what's disturbing to me is that it's in the top fucking 10 on Netflix.
Yeah.
Like I was literally watching. I was on Netflix the other day, and I was going through the top 10, just hoping that it was not in the top 10. And I think it was like number 7. I was like, how dare you, fucking world, do this shit to me and to children around the world. Yeah, I can't get down with this cuties bullshit. It's called something else because it's like I think was made in France, or whatever, which unironically just lowered the age of consent.
Yep.
To like 16 or some shit. And it's this show about these very young girls, like prepubescent girls, that they get into like some dance group and they start doing all these really weird, provocative dances with like really, I can't even say provocative clothing because they're like little girls. So it's not provocative. It's not provocative to me. It's just disgusting. Like I don't want to see little girls dressed like that. I don't know why anybody would want to do that. And so I'm seeing like some of the pushback on what I'm saying is that, they're trying to point out that, little girls are being sexualized. Like, okay, I get that. But listen, you can't sit there and say that, the world is trying to sexualize girls, like little girls, and then like literally do the same thing in the movie that you're making.
Yeah.
Like it's very obvious, like them talking about like sucking dicks and shit and like popping their asses. It's like, I don't think that I don't even think the oldest girl was even 12 years old.
Yeah.
And it's just like, why would you put that out there today? It just seems totally weird and gross to me. And it just highlighted to me that there's like way more pedophiles than I thought in the world, and it's becoming more and more acceptable. And it's fucking disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, I was just
go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. I mean, I've talked on here at nauseum sometimes. There are some shit parents, who don't give a fuck about their daughters, just flat out, and that's disturbing to me. Almost just as disturbing as the number of sicko fucking pedophiles out there. This show is something that I don't have interest in it. I understand those people who are saying, well, how can you judge something that you haven't seen? I don't have to fucking see everything. This just isn't fucking for me. I will also say. Hold
on. Can I highlight something that you just said right there? People that say you can't judge something you haven't seen, that's fucking bullshit. Like seriously, it's like saying that, how do you know you don't like pedophilia unless you haven't watched it?
Yeah, exactly. It's
like just on morals alone, it should tell you no.
Well, I know that some people are comparing it to like some of the kids dance shows that are on like
Dance Moms.
Yep.
There's like
Those
Dance Moms.
too.
There's like the
Miss Teen USA.
Like, kids. Yeah, there's like all this other like kid shows where these kids are dressing kind of provocative, but like nobody's saying anything about those.
Exactly. I mean, Dance Moms has 8 seasons on Lifetime, and those girls are roughly around the same age.
Here's the thing. I think that you can certainly put those in very similar categories. I don't have a problem with that. Um, I get the point sometimes people are making of, well, if you weren't outraged with that, then you shouldn't be with this, kinda. But at the same time, I put it all in the same fucking category of some really questionable parents trying to make their little girls grow up too fast or exposing them to things that they're just not mature enough to handle. And so I don't like it. I don't like it as a parent. I got, a 6-year-old daughter. I don't want her anywhere close to any of that shit. And it's not something that I need to consume for me to develop an opinion on it. I already think it's gross, even sight unseen. And then I'll also say this too. I saw this bullshit online. Some people were trying to defend this because it was made by some Parisian of African descent from Senegal or something like that, and what she went through and telling her story. I don't give a fuck who the director is. Like the director's ethnicity or even her own background, I can still shit on you for making something that seems gross, regardless of where you come from.
If you are trying to say that this is a problem and stuff, then based on the marketing, because like I said, I haven't seen it and nobody else here has actually seen the movie, but based on the marketing on it, it doesn't seem like you're trying to make a sort of documentary about the horrors of what these young girls are going through in these sort of dance groups and idolizing this culture of I don't want to say it's hip hop dance or whatever, but just like provocative preteen dancing
booty shaking
stuff. Like, yeah, if that was your whole purpose of making this film, I think you could have done it in a better way, or at least got out in front of it and said, and done a better job of explaining that to the masses, rather than just all of a sudden you have because it came to my attention when I think I saw people were talking about the poster of the advertisement poster for the video.
Yep.
And it's like, I'm like, what the fuck is this or whatever? Like, why are you using shock value to get me to watch something, and you're shocking me with something that I think is disgusting? Like, that was just like a major red flag. Well, this movie supposedly did great at Sundance and stuff like that. So yeah. I'm like, okay, if that's the case, and these people that saw it at Sundance and everything, you know what it is that you have, that hopefully you're intelligent enough to understand that this is going to be controversial if I don't market it the right way.
Yep.
And they completely marketed it the absolute wrong way by having it look like a Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion video with fucking 12-year-olds or whatever. And it's just like, what are you doing here? And I second your comment about how these beauty pageants and little dance Miss America things are on the same page, and I have issues with that. But at the same time, it's like, it's not number 7 or whatever the fuck it is on Netflix right now. Like I don't get it. I don't. Yeah, it's just crazy, and to me it's personally sickening. I have no desire to watch it. I don't know.
Well, real quick, the Netflix, they've heard some backlash on this. Like, their stock price was dropping like a fucking rock, and it's at one of these all-time highs. I kind of watch the market or whatever when it comes to some of these big stocks. They felt some of the heat. Now, Twitter, as we've talked about many times, cancel culture stuff on Twitter, they have a short fucking memory. They will move on to the next fucking scandal, literally the same 24-hour news cycle. But
next week.
Yeah, it's the same day sometimes. You know what I mean? But I don't get what you wanted to accomplish.
Correct.
That's my biggest thing. And I can handle a lot of quote unquote controversial fictional movies or even controversial documentaries, but once you get into the child shit, man, god damn, that's a red line.
It's like, especially because it was marketed like you're glamorizing it. it's like if you were trying to alert parents and people about like the dangers of this society and this world and what these kids can get into and stuff like that, you can do it in a much better way. And I've seen people, and I also like repost. I'm like, yeah, I mean, your daughters might be doing this same shit on TikTok for all you know, which is highly possibly true. But market it a different way is being like, yo, this is a problem that nobody is talking about. Girls are being victimized, looked at as meat. They're being sexualized. Bring attention to it like that, rather than putting out a showgirls-esque, glamored up, booty dropping trailer and picture for this show, and then worry about it afterwards. Have to come on the back end of it and try to explain for it. It's just like, you lost me. You like I don't care or want to hear what it is that you have to say. Like, it's disgusting. I know there are problems with it, but I don't want to hear what you have to say about it because you went about it the wrong way.
And real quick, there may be some unique bullshit of pedophilia and bullshit of preteen culture going on in France that is slightly different from what's going on in America. And perhaps some of those differences were trying to be highlighted. That's me trying to give some benefit of the doubt. But even still, if that is what's going on in France, y'all need to fucking get your shit together too, by international standards.
Yeah, there's different laws around here in terms of like consent and what is socially acceptable and legal. So yeah, that's a no. It's a no for me, dog.
Well, you know, it's crazy. Obviously, three of us on here are parents, and we have girls, and so it hits a little bit harder for us than probably most people, because I would never want to see, like, if somebody would have asked, like, if either one of my daughters wanted to be actresses, and they were starting to make it, and somebody asked them to make a film like this, I would just read it, like the premise, and I'd be like, fucking no, gross. Like, and I don't understand they got multiple families to do this. And I understand that, like, this happens here in America too with all these pageant shows. Those are gross too. Like this Here Comes Honey Boo Boo shit that highlighted like a lot of fucking nasty nonsense here in America for me and like for a lot of people. And I just don't see how it's acceptable today for this to happen, especially in this day and age where we've gone through a slew of pedophilia scandals. With fucking Epstein, quote unquote, killing himself. We have the right hand chick now going to be on trial. We had Harvey Weinstein doing some horrible fucking rape shit, and they decide after all this shit happens, over a whole slew of other fucking scandals, that right now is okay to release a film like this. It should never have been okay, but this is literally the worst time possible that I would think that you should release anything like this. And the fact that it's fucking in the top goddamn 10 of Netflix is very concerning to me as both a man and a parent.
Yeah. Here, I'll just say this. I couldn't agree more with both of you guys, but if you wanted to do some like life-changing documentary or movie on this subject, I think a more interesting take would be actually to investigate those altar boys with the Catholic Church. I mean, you talk about some controversy. There is decades and decades of now you got full-grown men that are in their 50s, 60s, 70s and stuff that were victims of the church, of priests who got away with it.
I thought they already did. In fact, I thought there was multiple ones. I know there's a movie about it. Spotlight is about the investigation. But I could have sworn there might be a couple of documentaries, actually.
I'm not saying there's none. I'm just saying I think that there is still additional stories to be told.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Anyway, it is what it fucking is. Actually, I stepped out for a second. Stitch, I'm specifically calling you out a little bit. I want to make sure I get your take on this to start it off. I don't know if this is going to turn into something bigger, but I thought that you had rightly so on social media given some props on the courageous LA sheriff, lady sheriff that saved a life and did some heroic shit. Do you want to talk about that at all?
Oh, okay, yeah. I wish I knew her name or whatever, because I would love to be able to give credit to her name and everything, but and I'm unprepared. But in the LA somewhere in the sheriff county's jurisdiction, there were two, I guess, police officers that were just sitting in their police unit, and a person came up to their car and just just started firing and everything. It was caught on tape and everything. Both officers, I guess, are in critical condition, but it does appear like they're going to make it through, which is great. But just some of I mean, if you watch the video of how it happens, it's pretty fucking shocking and stuff like that. I mean, we're obviously living in crazy times and stuff like that, and we've seen stuff happen on both sides in terms of like police doing fucked up shit to people of color and white people, and vice versa and stuff like that. This one just caught me sort of just caught me off guard and everything, because it was a complete ambush, and the guy just walked up to the car and just started firing. And I sort of touched on it when we talked about that punk ass 17-year-old dude that had the AR-15. And when I was breaking that whole video down, I specifically said, I was like, you never let anybody walk up to your car when you're sitting into it, and especially if they got a fucking firearm in your hand. And I was like, that was another red flag that just started sending sirens, because in your car you're trapped or whatever. You can't get to your gun. You got a seatbelt on. You're dead to rights whenever somebody comes up to your car and everything. I mean, even if somebody does start to approach your car, you try to get out your car just to be like, hey, what's going on and stuff like that. But the awesome thing about this was you hear the reports about this female officer who was a year out of the academy. She used to be a librarian, so shout out to Ella Darling. But after taking several rounds to the face and everything, she had enough just clarity to address her situation, take care of herself, and then help out her partner, apply a tourniquet and everything, and just like be like, yo, I'm not dying here, and I'm not dying right now. Because I mean, I can't imagine, and I get shivers even like thinking about like what would happen if just all of a sudden I just have a gun in my face and someone's just shooting it or whatever, let alone I know I've been hit or whatever, and I'm just, you're dead to rights and everything. Not many people have been in that situation. Thankfully, I've never been in that situation where you just feel powerless. I know Kronos has been in a situation where he talks about that missile coming through where it's just like, well, fuck, I'm going to die now and shit like that. And it's like, you can't really fathom like what's going through your mind when you're just powerless in a situation. And she just had the enough mental grit in her mind to be like, yo, I'm hurting or whatever. I don't know how many times I've been shot, but I'm not going to die here right now. I got to survive. I assume she's got a family. I got a family I got to go home to and stuff like that. So I thought it was real courageous that she pushed through and she survived, and she's going to be okay. Now, on the flip side of it, whatever, and like I said, I call it how I see it. The LA Sheriff's Department is fucking politicizing this shit in such a bullshit way by calling out LeBron James to fucking pay to match their reward for this fucking, to find out.
He's already paying for it. Fucking stupid as shit.
Oh God, I didn't even see that part of it, but it's just like.
No. Just think about it logically, man. If they find the person, and what does the reward come out of?
Taxpayer dollars.
Does it come from the PD? It comes out of taxpayer dollars. This is how fucking. I'm gonna stop.
Like I don't
Yeah.
know. It's like First of all, I don't understand why there's I don't get it or whatever. I don't get like doing a reward for it. It's just like, it's sort of like knowing that humanity ain't shit, that you have to bribe people to be like, yo, help us out on this clear-cut fucking disgusting murder. We'll give you $100,000 or whatever like that. Like it is what it is or whatever. And I think it was maybe a little bit premature to just start throwing out money out there or whatever. Like detectives, do your work or whatever. Like that's what you're paid to do. And when I want to preface this by like the tone that I'm going to start having now on is like, I'm not talking shit on that department or like those officers or whatever. It's just the way that I guess the sheriff was caring about his actions, but do work. That's what your job is to do. One of your boys and one of your brothers, one of your sisters in blue got fucking almost murdered, just ambushed. Cold blood, do work. Put your resources, put your effort in. Voluntary overtime. If somebody came up to and tried to shoot if you guys on the podcast, one of my squad buddies or whatever like that, you don't even gotta pay me overtime. I'm putting in extra work and I'm finding every camera I can find. We're gonna find out who did this shit. And for that sheriff to all of a sudden start asking people to match $100,000 rewards from basketball player or whatever, who you guys want to shut up and dribble and all this other shit. And meanwhile, like, let us not forget that your department got in some shit for publicly posting out a crime scene from when Kobe Bryant's helicopter hit the fucking mountain and shit like that. Your deputies were out taking photos and sharing it on social media and giving it to TMZ and shit like that. So, like, do what it is that the public pays you to fucking do, that the deputies signed up to do, your detectives, your homicide detectives. One of your boys got shot. Take care of that shit. Like, that's what you're supposed to do, and that's what you would want to do. You don't need LeBron James, who's in Orlando playing basketball, to fucking throw money in a collection plate to find out who did it. Like, you need to talk to the people. You need to beat the street. Like, I know when I say beat the street, I mean like do like actual footwork and talk to people and figure out who did this shit or whatever. So it's like, that part just absolutely fucking disgusted me, and it distracted from the heroic effort of this officer that saved her life and saved her partner's life in the most dire, gravest of situations. And that part pissed me off. But like you said before, that officer, amazing job. I'll try to Google her name real quick or whatever like that, because she fucking kicked ass. Reminded me of that girl in Michigan who had the dude with the knife coming at her, had her gun jam, and she was able to focus, reload, clear her jam, and get about her business or whatever. So power to her, like, especially these women cops that are out here handling it in some grave situations that I know a lot of male cops that I personally know would have fucking not been able to handle the situation. There are a lot of women warriors out there, so much love to them.
I think we already know if one of us gets shot, it's the Super Shoot Show's fault. So,
God damn, called him out.
So
I called him out.
Let me. I'm gonna say a couple things before I say about my next statements. I used to have a very close relationship with the East LA Sheriff's Department. Okay, I used to work as part of the East LA VITA program. It's the Vital Interdiction and Directional Alternatives. So basically, if you ever watched Scary Straight and you saw the guys in black that would do like a Scary Straight thing, I was one of those guys for like more than a year in East LA. So I respect sheriffs. You know, I obviously respect most of law enforcement, and just in general. But for somebody to sit out there and say, you know, we need to have these people matching dollar amounts for some basically a bounty is utterly ridiculous to me, because we're already paying for the bounty as taxpayers. The money doesn't come out of that department. It comes out of taxpayer dollars. All right, and these are things that are going to, if they don't have a general fund that is funding things, then that's going to take away from some other program. And it's not going to be the fucking police department or the sheriff's department. Let me put things into perspective for you. In 2017, there was over $200 million in settlements from the LAPD alone. Mm-hmm. In settlements, okay? That comes out of the LA County's taxpayer dollars. It does not come out of the LAPD. This is a fucking problem. And to me, it needs to stop. What happened to those 2 sheriffs is fucking horrific. But let's not try to politicize this shit and try to fool the people into thinking that they need to pay extra into something to where it's their job to do anyway. It's like me paying the trash guy extra to do some shit that he's already picking up trash. Like, that's your fucking job, is to do that. If the trash guy fucks up, like, could you imagine if the trash guy fucking crashed into my goddamn car with his trash truck, and all of a sudden that money comes out of my tax dollars? That's fucking bullshit, right? I mean, those are reasonable expectations. If a trash guy fucking fucks up my car, it should come out of their funds, not the people's funds that should be going towards, other sort of, other public programs. And this is one of the problems that I have with PDs in general, and it's becoming way more apparent to me, is that there's literally no accountability for that. But, I don't want to go in that direction, because I kind of went in a direction I really didn't want to go into that far, because what happened to them was fucked up. Nobody should be going out shooting people in cars and trying to do some vigilante justice bullshit. Like, listen, we understand that what's happening in America right now is fucked up, but not every cop is a bad cop, or every sheriff is a bad sheriff, or, every person in law enforcement is bad law enforcement. You know what I mean? There are people that make mistakes in law enforcement. They need to be held accountable, yes, but you cannot make the snap judgment that they're all bad and you can just go up to them and shoot them. In the same manner that you would not expect every single police officer to pull over a black man and shoot them, right? So let's have the same sort of expectation and be fucking reasonable on both sides. And I'll leave it at that. I'm sorry I went to like a little rant that kind of distracted from what happened to those 2 sheriffs.
Yeah.
So
No problem at all. I'm pretty much with Stitch and some of the things that Chrono said on this one. It was a real tough thing to watch in terms of going up to a car and unloading. That's all fucking bad. I'm going to say unequivocally, I don't support even the protesting, and I've been pro-protest in general, but I don't support the protests outside of the hospital in general. I will say, to be very fair, it seems like it is a tiny, less than, you can count them on less than 2 hands number out there. Regardless, I don't like that shit. Someone got shot at work. I think that's fucked up. The LeBron stuff is a silly fucking political distraction. LeBron James, again, as Stitch said, is literally in Orlando, Florida, playing playoff basketball games. He's got absolutely nothing to do with this event, and people are just shitty.
Yeah, her name is Claudia Apollinaar. I'm butchering the last name. I apologize. 31-year-old Hispanic female. The little thing I said, she's got a 6-year-old son. So good. I'm glad she's doing all right, and she's was able to just fight through and had that will inside her to go home and to her 6-year-old son and everything, and make sure she got home safe after fucking getting unloaded on in a crazy fucked up situation. And I read things about protesters like blocking the hospital and shit. Like I didn't know how true that was, so I didn't want to start condemning protesters and stuff like that, because some people will be like, oh yeah, a lot of right-wing people would just be like, oh, they're blocking the freeway, they're saying, oh yeah, you deserve to die. I don't know how true it is. I don't know if it's true, so I didn't want to give light to that and sort of like confirm that or not. Hopefully it is not true, but and that's not happening, because if it is, that's a shame.
Do you know if the clown said anything about this?
Oh my god! Yeah, I saw something.
Blue was right on time with that one.
The
clown.
Did the clown say anything about this?
Yeah, he said something along the lines of like, fuck, I forget. You don't have to pull up his actual words, but the dog whistling version of it is like, we need to find this thug, and street justice needs to be administered on him. And I made sure when I posted my stuff about it because I have a lot of friends that are obviously in law enforcement, outraged about this incident. And sometimes their posts hint on Punisher style retribution for it, which is not okay and everything.
Nope.
So I made sure in everything I posted that I hope that this person is arrested and brought to justice in a court of law rather than no one deserves to just be shot in the street on sight and everything. You need to be able to have self-control and realize the greater purpose and the end game of whatever it is that you're trying to do when you're trying to apprehend a criminal suspect is you want to capture him and arrest him, not just shoot him on site and murder him, because that just leads to just vigilantism and murder back and forth. So we don't want that on either side.
And the
Well, but I mean, yeah, I'm glad you said that. And it's just like, it's probably, if he gets arrested, it's not going to be peaceful like these other folks that are mass murderers. I can pretty much guarantee that. I mean, he's definitely not going to stop by a goddamn Burger King and get a cheeseburger on his way to jail or incarceration. And I think that there are some police officers, I'm not going to say all, I'm not going to say most, I will say some people in law enforcement, where they think that the beginning and the end of law enforcement lies on them, where it's just the beginning.
Yeah.
You apprehend suspects, and the justice system is what determines if they're guilty or not, and they dispense justice.
Yeah.
It is not in the lap of law enforcement to dispense any sort of
Punishment.
punitive measures. Yeah, any sort of punishment. You apprehend them, and the rest of the justice system. But you don't see that with more than what I would like to see. What I do see is that people that will see suspects and they treat them as felons right away, or whatever they're suspected as, they will assume that they are wrong and that they are definitely guilty. And that's what we see, people getting punched in the face, choked, brutalized, murdered, because they assume that they are definitely 100% guilty of that crime, and that is not their fucking job.
I'm probably going to say the same thing as you. My only pushback is there is a huge exception of public safety or someone is posing a threat. Yeah, then they absolutely do have the authority to obviously neutralize that threat.
It's a public safety threat. Yeah. If there's somebody obviously going out shooting civilians,
then
or other people, anybody, not even civilians, then obviously you need to, for public safety, do something. But we've seen multiple times, if this was true universally, then why do we see, mass murderers that get put in handcuffs, taken in peacefully? So this is it's the uneven justice that we see in America, and it needs to be more even. It needs to be blind justice, but it's not here in America.
The perfect example of what happened in with the guy with the AK that killed 2 people and injured another person.
The Kyle kid or whatever his fucking name.
Yeah, and it's interesting because Trump calls him a fucking hero basically, because he was helping protecting people's property or some shit like that. But this motherfucker is still a guy that he killed 2 people, but yet he's called this guy a hero, but he calls the other guy a fucking animal, and we need to hunt him down basically.
Yeah, that's a lot. I have a lot of issues with people trying to be that person needs to be killed, or even a lot of times on the flip side of it is well, why wasn't this person like for the Dylan Roof example or whatever? It's it's funny how they brought Dylan Roof in or whatever. It was okay, they did their job or whatever. If I rolled up on fucking Hitler or whatever, and I know it's fucking Hitler, and doesn't have a gun or anything like that, then okay, I'm going to arrest him. I'm not going to just pull out my firearm and just shoot him because he's Hitler and I know what he's done or whatever. But at that moment in time when I'm confronted with him, if he's not a threat at that moment, then I will arrest him and everything. So that's different with that whole Kyle thing, because Kyle was walking down the street with a fucking firearm and he just blasted somebody fucking 45 seconds ago. He's an active shooter as far as I'm concerned. But it's like some of these other situations, it's just like when some people are just like, oh, well, that person should have, funny how they're alive. It's like, well, I need to know the situation of how that person was confronted when they were encountered by the police. Because it's like it was said before, you can't justify just killing people to kill people on both sides of it, no matter what it is that they did previously. It's part of the end game.
Well, yeah, it's part of it, but it's like there's also like a disproportionate side where you have people that are unarmed with their hands up that are getting killed still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when you have people that killed somebody, they killed multiple people, and they put their hands up, and it's just like they're all of a sudden not a threat, even though you knew that they killed multiple people.
Yeah.
This is the problem with uneven. It's the problem with police discretion.
Yeah, you're supposed to. Yeah, in theory, and this, I don't know if it's just poor training or it's people's mindsets going into whatever fucking situation it is. But if that person does not pose a imminent threat to you at that time, there's no reason to use deadly force. So, if like with Jacob Blake, according to, in the way I viewed it, he posed no imminent threat. Even if he had it, if you found a knife in his pocket or whatever, I didn't see him pull it out. I didn't see him wave it in a threatening manner or brandish it or anything like that. He was not a threat, and an imminent threat where I needed to use deadly force. He was trying to get into a car, at worst drive away. Okay, we'll catch him another day or whatever. He didn't try to run me over with the car. He didn't reach for a firearm. He didn't try to pull the knife out and try to stab me with it. He is not an imminent threat. So in my opinion, he did not deserve having deadly force executed on him and everything like that. The
really
Kyle
quick.
kid.
Real quick, Jacob Blake, was he the PlayStation guy from New Orleans or no?
No. Blake was the
Carolina now.
Oh, okay.
The guy that got shot
Yeah.
7 times in the back, getting into his car.
Yeah. But
Okay.
yeah, the Kyle kid, he literally is running down the street with a firearm in his hand. He shot somebody. You heard the gunshots. He's walking up to your car. You hear people saying he just shot somebody, and you're letting him walk up to your fucking car. Like,
He's giving directions.
if this had have happened, like if the LA ambush had happened a week before this, and we'd seen what happens when somebody with a firearm walks up to your car, you would unload on that motherfucker as soon as he got up to you. Like, you wouldn't even let him get close to you. Like stop right there, put the rifle fucking down. Don't even, no, you know what? Don't touch the rifle or whatever. Keep your hands on your fucking head, because I don't want you touching the rifle. I'll get the rifle off of you. But it's
So I disagree a little bit with you, because I think it's gonna continue to happen. I mean, we've had people that have been ambushed before, and this happened way after that. Like, there's been multiple times where police officers have been ambushed, and they still let Kyle walk up to them with the firearm, with his hand on the buttstock of his rifle, walking up to them.
That's true.
I don't get it.
And they didn't say shit to him.
That's true. I mean,
So
it seems like we're dancing around it. Kyle was a little white boy. Like, I'm just going to flat out say it. He did not seem like a threat because of his skin. That is what I think. Until I'm proven wrong, I'm going to always think that.
Yeah.
Like, period.
no, I agree.
You know. So, all right.
Also, on another note, Louisville handed off 12 million? Was it 12 or 15 million?
I thought it was 12.
12. Okay, yeah, $12 million. The taxpayers of the city of Louisville, Kentucky, had to fork over to the Breonna Taylor family. Obviously, there is no dollar amount that can make the feeling of losing your daughter or your loved one feel better. Obviously, this was, we've talked about it before, a massive fucking tragedy. Nobody's been arrested or held accountable. There was an officer that was fired, but from what I've read, there was some other stuff that was going on with that officer in compiling with that incident that led to his firing. But they signed over a $12 million check to that family or whatever. And,
real quick,
and I want to get back to
the 12 million, but it's my understanding, if Kentucky, I don't know Kentucky law all that well, but if it's anything like California and most of the rest of the country, if you get fired from Louisville, that does not prohibit you from getting hired by neighboring Louisville B or Shelbyville.
So you go get a job somewhere else.
Correct. It depends on whatever state, and I've never stepped foot in Kentucky. I don't even know if technically I've flown over Kentucky in terms of like planes that I've been on or anything. So
I've
I
been
don't.
there before. I had a job there before.
Yeah. So
a short gig.
I don't know how their penal code thing works, and I don't know what his actual cause of termination was. Because a lot of times what happens is they'll resign in lieu of being terminated to just save whatever, just so it looks better on paper. So I don't know the situation behind that. And obviously they didn't. I mean, since he's not charged with anything, he wasn't fired for a criminal aspect of it, from my understanding. So
probably not.
It looks like you are right. Like, yeah, he's probably free to go work at a different department if he wants to. But yeah, it's another day has gone by and nothing has really changed in that whole Breonna Taylor thing. I will say that it's pretty, them writing the check that quick is pretty fucking damning. Like, that shit never happens that quick.
I thought there were some reform. I'd have to look them up. I don't have them at my fingertips. There were some reform things that got changed that I think can be a positive step in the right direction. But real quickly, this is what I want to give props on. The Breonna Taylor, unlike George Floyd, even though they happened obviously the same year, a few months apart, the fact that it became a national headline story without, to my knowledge, without any video was about as impressive as you can, right? There's no video.
That's a good point. That's a good fucking point. I forgot about that. Really good point.
To me, every other time that there's been like a, say her name, say his name, a national story of this person, usually, not every single time, but usually there's some type of body cam video or cell phone video or some pictures or something. And it seems like,
an after video.
Yeah, it seems like there's not a whole lot of, that type of evidence that's in the main public. So I have to give props on the fact that it's something that's a national, international news without that. That seems interesting to me.
I think it's interesting how like some people, like mainly the right or left, one of the wings, how they try to twist the story and saying like, oh, she was involved in drugs and stuff like that. She was as guilty as her boyfriend and stuff like that. I'm like, dude, somebody fucking lost their life. An innocent person lost their life, and you're throwing this fucking bullshit, made up fucking story out there. Like, come on, man, come on.
You're kicking in doors for weed. Is that really what's going on? Like, you're kicking in doors with a ram and stacking a fucking door and rolling up in there for weed? Is that what the warrant was for? Like
Stitch, so there's a book that Prodigy recommended. I think it was Prodigy. Was it the Warrior
Mindset?
Rise of the Warrior Cop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I could recommend that one.
Yeah, you should really read that book. It's pretty fucked up.
I've heard, I can't think of his name, but I've heard his he was talking at a couple universities and everything. I watched.
No. So it's not about that guy. It's not about him at all. Which is what I thought too. I thought it was gonna be about that one guy, but it's not about him. You're talking about the guy that has like the warrior mindset for police officers?
No. The author of the book was going around talking to several universities. I can't think of his name right now, but I listened to like 2 of his talks at several universities. It was maybe like 50 minutes long each, where he was breaking down some of these warrants that they were going through searching for drugs. I think maybe it was in Tulsa or something like that, somewhere in the Midwest, I think, where they were just like fucking just going through, just beating people up just for like weed or whatever. And he's just like, what the fuck is going on? And he talks about how essentially with 9/11, it sort of provoked the whole militarization of police forces across the United States and et cetera. The only thing I
Oh, it goes way before 9/11.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
That's what I was about to say. The only thing I thought where I disagreed on him with that was like I would go. I think the militarization of police forces began with the Los Angeles shootout in Hollywood, with that bank robber incident.
That was all
That's where
bad.
his book goes to.
Yeah, where those cops were fucking outgunned, and they were going into pawn shops and gun stores, being like, "Yo, we need guns now," and stuff like that. And after that whole thing, because those guys, I think it was two people, like they were just in full body armor, and bullets were just bouncing off them and shit. And
they still magically both still died.
What? Yeah, eventually. Eventually, but I mean, they were doing some damage. That was on some Call of Duty video game shit, where it's like, all right, they took a round. They're like, all right, let me get to cover. Wait for the color to come back in my screen. All right, I'm back. I'm popping.
Yeah.
Get a med pack.
Yeah. After that incident is pretty much in some of the criminal justice classes that I took in college before 9/11. They pinpointed that incident as pretty much when SWAT teams started to become prevalent in major society, in like even random ass cities where they really didn't really have a need for a SWAT team and stuff, just because they were like, we're never going to be outgunned again. And that's, to me, he puts it more on 9/11 because you get more of the federal funding and the money. But I think the mentality and the mindset and the philosophy was more so back in the Los Angeles shooting. So that was my only pushback on that.
Well, the thing was that back in the Los Angeles shooting, it's pretty much never happened ever since then. It's extremely rare, and most of these SWAT teams because this is like the rise of the SWAT teams came from that one incident, and the vast majority of these SWAT teams, they're basically being used for no-knock warrants for low-level drug offenders, and very rarely, when I say very rarely, I would say like 80+% of the time, they're finding no weapons whatsoever into these residences. And if you think about it logically, like if you have somebody that you know is a violent drug dealer, why in the fuck would you try to arrest them in their home?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. You would pick them up on the street, right? For public safety and your safety, because there would be less weapons. You can't carry, 100+, a magical number, whatever you want, on your body at any given time if you're away from your home, quote unquote, like your fort. So why the fuck would you keep doing these no-knock warrants on homes that you think there could be violent drug offenders or fucking gun dealers for that matter? Why would you do that? It doesn't make any logical sense.
But you get to terrorize Eazy-E. Like we all saw Straight Outta Compton, where I'm laughing, but it was obviously no joke. You never saw Straight Outta Compton?
I'm the only black man on the earth right now.
Yeah,
what the fuck?
The only
even Sweden saw it.
That's all a discussion for a different day. I think when you're going at somebody's home, you're trying to minimize collateral damage. Where is if
you're not. That'd be more collateral damage.
How?
Well, hold on. Let him finish.
Go ahead.
Okay, if Prodigy is a drug dealer in theory or whatever like that, and like I know he's at home at this certain time, we can surround his house or whatever, and we have him confined to a location where is like, all right, he's at the 7-Eleven now or something like that. He walks in the 7-Eleven and he sees us coming, or if he's sitting at Chili's or something, then all of a sudden if there's a shootout there, or if he sees us there, then all of a sudden we have a potential for a hostage situation where it's like, all right.
No.
Well, you can say no, but I'm telling you this is the actual philosophy and logic or whatever. But you have the
logic is very wrong.
Okay, if you say that if you want, but whatever. You have them in their house, in their home. You can cut the power to their house. You can cut the water to their house. You essentially have time on your side, and they are in a spot where you have that person confined. You have no other technical innocent bystanders there and everything. Where if you're in a public spot, you have to worry about public safety, if there's other people, innocent bystanders in the area. So getting the person at their home is the best spot. And if you're serving a warrant, you need to have a search warrant for that actual location. That's what gives you the right to bust into said location. If Prodigy is at my house you can't just bust into my house to come get Prodigy because that would violate my Fourth Amendment right of search and seizure because you're coming into my property and you're violating my rights because it's on my property. If I have a warrant for your property, that's what the judge signs over, and he can go into. You can shake your head, but that's what the Constitution says about the Fourth Amendment. You can't come into my property.
You have no idea what I'm thinking right now.
Well, I'm telling you that's how it works. That's how it legally is and stuff. You can't go into someone else.
So let me throw in a hypothetical.
Okay.
If I go into a 7-Eleven and I walk out of the 7-Eleven, and then 3 police officers pick me up, search me, make sure I have no weapons on me, and arrest me right there at a 7-Eleven and serve me the warrant at 7-Eleven, and the warrant includes that I can search your premises. You serve them the warrant, you take them into custody, and then after that, after making sure that there's nobody else in the home, because you should case a joint that is potentially full of weapons, right? Then you go into the home when it's safe to do so, without the person that you think has multiple weapons in the home. You remove them from the entire situation. You go into their house after they're already in custody, and then search their home.
The danger in that situation, which you glossed over, is when the police run up on the person. And you said, oh, you make it sound like the person will just willingly give up when the police start running up out of the unmarked cars.
It's less of a risk. It's less of a risk. If you run up on them to somebody that you think is a violent criminal in their own home, they would have more access to more weapons, and they're in a fortified position.
If you
This is the part that where the police mentality that has its whole militarization part that they kind of miss is that if you think that somebody is literally a violent criminal that has access to weapons, you're meeting them in a fortified position.
Okay, if you mean,
why would you do that?
If said person is armed and dangerous and you're running up on them in a 7-Eleven and they see the police rolling up there, they know what time it is.
No,
they know
no. You don't have to do any of that. You don't have to even come up in there and you can go up in there in plain clothes with officers with backup. I wouldn't make a big scene about it. Just pick them up and like, listen, we have a warrant for your arrest.
Oh.
You're coming to jail. You're taking to custody right now.
Oh.
Here's the warrant. Let's go.
Oh, okay. It just works like that, right? You just, excuse me, Mr. Criminal Guy. I'm here to arrest you. Please put your hands behind your backs. Okay, that's fine. You don't think that
if you are in a normal place where they're not expecting you, yeah, that's generally how it does.
No, in a normal place, you know what happens? They run or they pull or they shoot. It's fight or flight. That's what happens when you confront a criminal.
So that doesn't happen in somebody's house? When somebody has a no-knock warrant and they just run into your house and just start shooting shit?
Where are they running?
That doesn't happen at all?
Where are they running if they're in their house?
They can't run. That's the fucking whole point.
Thank you.
It's always fight.
You can't run if you're in your house. When you run, that's when you get in a car for
something. You see the problem I'm talking about. It's always fight. You're missing the whole point.
You're putting other people's lives at risk. I mean, that's something you want to ignore. That's fine. I understand, but in the real world, you don't want to put other people's lives at risk.
It's less people's lives at risk because they have less access to weapons, less access to harm people, and you can do it in a more peaceful manner.
How many innocent bystanders are in your house right now?
How many innocent bystanders have been shot by the police?
That wasn't my question. How many innocent bystanders are in your house that have nothing to do with you or your way of life right now?
Right now?
Yes, right now.
There's plenty.
That are in your house right now.
All of us are innocent.
You're ignoring the question, but let's go ahead and move on.
No, what did you ask? Say it again. Did I misunderstand your question?
You either missed.
How many innocent bystanders are in my house right now?
I said, how many people are innocent bystanders that have no connection to you or your way of life that are in your house right now?
You're assuming that I'm a criminal.
Are you going to answer the question, or are you just going to keep deflecting it? I asked you a question.
That's not deflecting. I'm saying that you're assuming that I'm a criminal.
In the scenario that you portrayed, if you are a criminal, right? That's what we're assuming, right? I thought we're playing.
You're assuming that I'm a criminal. See, I go back to what I'm saying. You're assuming that I'm a criminal, not a suspect. That's the problem with your thinking.
You are completely ignoring the point. You're deflecting.
No, I'm not. No, you're ignoring the important part.
Okay,
you are assuming that I'm a criminal and not a suspect.
Okay, you're taking it personal, but okay.
It's not personal. Because it happens all the fucking time in America. You're assuming you've already admitted this. You're assuming that I'm a criminal and not a suspect.
Are you just going to keep yelling? If I have a warrant for the suspect, and I roll up on that person, is that suspect? Is he surrounded by more people that might be connected with his way of life in his house, how many innocent people are around that potential suspect in his house versus how many innocent people might be around that potential suspect at a 7-Eleven?
This is a very weird question.
Yeah,
right?
see, yeah, I'm done. Yeah, I'm done. Move it on.
No,
move it on. Move it on.
I'm literally trying to understand. Hold on. I'm trying to understand your question because it's worded very oddly. But if I'm a suspect, then I would hope that you would actually case out my house and see who's living in the house with me.
Oh, you want to be
is
caught?
that unreasonable?
So when
no.
this,
See,
let him answer.
Listen, I listen to what you had to say. Listen to what I have to say. If I'm a suspect for some serious crimes, and you think that I did something, and I'm a suspect, I would hope that you case my house and see who lives in my house, and then also do research on them, do an investigation on them as well. That's what I would expect from law enforcement. Is that unreasonable?
What does that have anything to do with me trying to apprehend you safely with the least amount of risk for the general public?
Because the people that are in the house with me are the general public. If you don't know that, then you did a poor investigation. That's my point.
But me knowing that you're in your house, I can case your house and see who's coming and going in your house, what time your girlfriend goes or your wife or your kids are at school, and I can pinpoint the exact time rather than me just saying, oh shit, he's in the Burger King drive-through line right now, and we'll just bounce on him right now. He might be in a car, he might run, he might just pull out a gun. We don't know if he's got a weapon on him, but if we surround the house,
You don't know that at home either. What you would know if I was a violent criminal is that I would have access to more weapons.
Why are you? You're moving the goalposts.
I'm not moving the goalposts at all.
If I'm scouting you out as a potential and doing surveillance, I would know if you're home. That's the whole point of surveillance.
So you should know what's in the house then too, right? You should know what's in the house too, right?
That's what you
should know.
That's what I said. That's what I said. Yeah.
Okay.
So
then you should know that if I'm living with somebody that has nothing to do with my way of life, if I'm living in a house with children or whoever the fuck else, if they have no idea what I'm doing for a living, then shouldn't you put their consideration as the general public as well?
Right, because that's exactly when I would knock on your door.
Right.
That's it. That's when I would knock on your door and say, knock, 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 blah, 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 police, search warrant, come to the door. I would never, and nobody would ever go up to and tap a person in the middle of a McDonald's fucking waiting line and be like, I'm the police, I need you to come with me. That would never happen because that's chaotic and you're putting other people's lives at risk. You do surveillance.
Why would it be chaotic? It could be more chaotic at somebody's house because it's more of a risk to the police officers and the people in the house.
But if there's nobody in the house, I just did surveillance.
I know that police officers agree with me.
You're ignoring everything I just said.
I'm not.
I literally just said if I'm doing hours of surveillance and I know when nobody is home, when you are home, I know when there's only you in the house because I've been doing hours of surveillance rather than me just.
I'm glad you said that. So how did Breonna Taylor happen then? Thank you.
So you're going to pull out the retarded aspect that we all agree on.
It's not retarded because it fucking happened. And it happens way more than you would like to admit.
Okay.
Is that we have no-knock warrants and people are brutalized by police officers.
I literally gave you the perfect example of how things should be done, and you bring out Breonna Taylor like that is what I'm saying should be done.
Like it didn't happen?
I said, let's move it on.
All right,
we'll move it on.
we do got to move it on.
Now it's slippery slope.
Boy, oh boy. We got to, unless we have any B than BTIs, we gonna wrap this goddamn thing up.
Seven off.
Okay.
Oh wait, yes, we do.
Do we have a B?
We do. We have one from Dirty Stew. Ooh. Dirty Stew. Actually, it might be a little difficult, but he asked us, "What is our top 5 games of this current generation?"
Oh man, who wants to start this one off?
I'll start mine off.
Go ahead.
God of War, Batman, Arkham. Oh god, I can't. Whatever the last one was.
Arkham Knight was current.
SpiderMan. I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody's gonna have this game too.
Damn you.
Fuck, what's the other 2? 5. He wanted 5.
Yep.
Yeah, I said top 5. There's a lot.
Friday the 13th was a really good game.
Ooh, that's
Is it in your top 5?
I mean, dude, it was a pretty damn good game, and it's
It was
still
a pretty damn good game for
for an indie game, for a game that had a Kickstarter and managed to come out swinging. I mean,
and
I respect that.
The other
Was
game
that 5?
is Don't Starve. Don't Starve was a really fucking crazy ass game, especially if you played it with headphones. So it was an indie game where you play this character and you get teleported into this world, and you basically have to stay alive for as long as you can, and like you start going through psychological changes, and basically you get voices and shit whispering in your ear to kill yourself, and that shit's fucking creepy as hell, especially if you have headphones on.
What game is that?
It'd be like it'd be little whispers. Be like,
Don't Starve.
You should just.
He said die. Don't Starve.
Huh? Yeah, Don't Starve. That's what it's called.
They're asking the name of the game. Don't Starve.
Yeah, it's called Don't Starve.
It's all right.
All right. Is that 5 for you?
Yeah.
Old Ninja, what you got on this one?
Oh no! Wait. Take away. Take away the Friday the 13th game and replace with the Batman Telltale games because those were fucking good.
Okay. Yeah, and you had early access to that.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see that. Shit. There's so many. So I'm gonna say in no particular order. Titanfall 2.
Ooh.
Because Titanfall 2 fixed a lot of stuff from Titanfall 1, and because of that, we're able to play in the realm of Apex Legends and whatnot. I mean, there's not that many mech games out there, and the ones that are out there are not on the level of Titanfall 2. I got, even though I didn't finish the game, I'm still currently playing it, but definitely God of War. It was definitely a compelling game. Shit. I'm gonna have to say Modern Warfare. I mean, I know it's a little generic. I know that Call of Duty is kind of like, I don't want to say cookie cutter because it kind of used to be, but this game,
it's great.
Modern Warfare came out with not only a battle royale that they continually like update and add new things, like literally twice, maybe 3 times a month. There's always new content, new events. They have a tournament mode going on since like the last 2 or 3 updates ago. They introduced the season pass. They did a lot of things right with this Call of Duty. That's why I'm not excited about fucking Cold War, because Modern Warfare fucking knocked it straight out of the park into the next city as far as Call of Duty goes. And it's definitely one of the best shooters of this generation, I got to say. I kind of want to put one of Resident. What were you going to say?
I was real quick going to say, according to MPD, in 2020 calendar year, Modern Warfare is actually the highest selling game of this year.
Yeah.
And it was the highest selling of 19, so it's a blockbuster. I mean,
in this instance, I gotta say rightfully so, because I literally own almost every one of them. I'm missing like maybe 2, and this is the one that I actually keep coming back to. Like literally, I got Call of Duty 3 for free, barely played it. The only time I've literally played Call of Duty Black Ops 4 was with y'all playing zombies, and that was like maybe 3 or 4 times. I didn't even finish the campaign, but Modern Warfare, I'm all over this game. Like even the Trials I play. Trials is like single player, like little challenges that you can do. This game came out and did it right. I kind of want to put the Resident Evils on there, but I can't pick one. But one that kind of trumps it for me is Control. Control is the game that like everyone, all the critics loved, but nobody was really talking about it. It came out at a weird time. There's DLC for it now. It's one of the best, for me, best new IPs that's been out there. I gotta agree with Blue with Batman Arkham Knight, because I feel like the combat system is more fluid and better designed than Spider-Man. Because in Spider-Man, the gadgets were kind of like useless, even with DLC. Like I literally didn't use any of the gadgets until the DLC, because the DLC forces you to use them. It literally forces you to use them to get through the challenges. Where Batman, once you get a gadget, your movements are fluid. And it was challenging. It was fun. They introduced the Batmobile, one of the best Batman games. I'm really excited about the new one that's coming out. Shit, that's 3 so far. Battlefield 1.
Great game.
First one that beat a Call of Duty in a while, and it rightfully so. It was a great game. A lot of co-op stuff, big ass fucking maps. It gave Prodigy PTSD every time we played.
Sure did.
It was great. Like even if you picked it up right fucking now, you would still have a great time playing that fucking game. And shit, there's just I'm gonna say I want to put Gears of War 5, but I'm gonna say Monster Hunter World.
There you
Monster Hunter
go.
World. I mean, I know like it's not for everyone, but you can't undermine that this is Capcom's highest selling game of all fucking time, beating out all the Street Fighters, not collectively but individually. If you go nose to nose, this beats each one of those. I played it the other day. It was still challenging, still fresh, still fun, still playing with other people. There's still content coming out 2 years later. There's new content literally in December for this fucking game. You're going to be able to upgrade this to the PS5 when this comes out. One of the best games that they put a lot of heart and energy into, and it shows in the game. I mean, it's definitely kind of a niche game, but a niche game with like 10 million people purchasing this fucking game. I think that's my.
I think it was over 15 actually, but go ahead.
By now it's 15 after Iceborne, but up until Iceborne, 10 million. Another 5 after.
Good shit.
I think
All right.
Are we doing games that were remastered for the 4 or no?
It's up to you, definition-wise. If you want to consider them this gen or not, it's a good question. You define it for yourself.
Okay, well, I'll go with Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh yeah.
SpiderMan. Tomb Raider.
Ooh, which one?
Oh yeah.
Which one?
And then
Wait, which Tomb Raider?
I gotta go with the first one, not the Rise of the Tomb Raider. I'm still playing that one. I'm still like halfway through that one.
Wait. So you're talking about the remake because there's a remaster for the current gen. That one or because there's literally 3 on the current gen.
2016 version, I think.
Was that was on PlayStation 3 or 4?
4.
They're both, but there's a remaster on 4, and the original came out on the.
There's technically 3 that came out on. There's a trilogy that came out on PS4.
Fuck, I'm gonna get all confused now on that aspect of it. But yeah, Tomb Raider was great.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're gonna count the Grand Theft Auto because that sort of transitioned into that was 3 and then went into 4, and then technically Last of Us 1 was 3 that went into 4. So I would have to sort of think on the other 2, but yeah, Tomb Raider definitely. Oh, Metal Gear, the one with Quiet.
Solid 5.
Solid 5.
Yeah.
Yes,
right,
that
that's 4.
1, 4. I guess you can maybe skip me, and I'll think of the 5th one that was just PlayStation 4 exclusive.
All right.
And everything.
It doesn't got me an exclusive.
Okay.
But
Well, then I got to put Grand Theft Auto for the.
Good.
Yeah, even though technically it was the 3 or whatever, it came out on the 4. 4 did polish it up a little bit better and everything.
5 too.
Yeah, I mean it'll be on the 5, 6, and 7 for the
Kronos, what you got?
So God of War for me was like the generational one. After that, no particular order. Metal Gear Solid 5, Ghost of Tsushima, Borderlands 3, Horizon Zero Dawn, and the honorable mention would go to Death Stranding. It's the first game I think that almost made me cry.
Okay.
So yeah, punch me in the feet.
Prodigy, what you got?
All right. I got Red Dead Redemption 2 on here.
Okay, I knew you were gonna. I thought I was kind of close. I thought Kronos was gonna pick that. I thought he was gonna pick that as one of them, but you got it.
It was good.
Yeah.
Good game.
Brilliant game. Again, I dismissed it at launch. Replayed it twice this year during the start of the pandemic. I haven't touched the online, but that's a whole different world on it.
That's a whole different game.
Yeah, but it's just massive, and it's literally a fucking masterpiece. One of the most gorgeous games I've ever seen. I am going with a very recent game, Last of Us 2. I think is way up there for me. I need to replay it again. We've talked about it ad nauseum, but that was a killer release from this summer that I think is going to have legs, and it's going to get obviously on the PS5 an online multiplayer enhanced mode too. So that's 2. I got The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. This game changed my fucking life. Geralt of Rivia and all of that RPG Polish shenanigans and monster hunting was just fucking brilliant for me. I got number 4 as Bloodborne. I don't care what you say, Kronos. It is this game changed my fucking life. I still think about the maps on this game. I still think about some of the bosses. I still think about some of the PvP and the invasions, the atmospheric storytelling and all that stuff. I can't wait. Hopefully they'll make a sequel with FromSoft or by FromSoft or whatever. And then number 5, I am going with a surprise hit because it's just too big to fucking ignore. And that
I think you're gonna say what I'm gonna say.
He's gonna say Fortnite.
It's gonna be Fortnite.
Oh,
Okay.
It's just too fucking big to ignore. It's a phenomenon. When literally my kids' 3rd and 4th grade teachers sent fucking notes home saying, "Hey, no more Fortnite dances and references in school." Not video game references, not Mario, not fucking NBA Jams references. Literally made a fucking note to the parents saying Fortnite references.
Yeah.
And my mom, in her 70s, knows what Fortnite is. It's just too big of a cultural fucking phenomenon for me to ignore on this.
That was my 5th. That's what. Once you started, I was like, yeah, it's gonna be Fortnite 5. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
End of the list. Real quick, not because we're way over. Old Ninja, what you got populating this week?
I'm heading out to the Reno Tahoe area. I'll be there for a little bit, probably almost up until the next podcast. So I'm gonna be there for a bit. I'm gonna be hanging out with some friends, and I got a little bit of business takeover when I'm there. So I might gamble a little bit, check out how I kind of know how it is already set up, but with the COVID situation. But I'll be there, I think, Saturday and throughout the weekend. So that's pretty much what I'm doing.
Hopefully air quality and fires are healthy for you and yours up there.
Yeah, we'll see.
Air quality here in the Bay has been today excellent.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like I can see the rest of the Bay Area today for the first time in like a fucking month.
Yeah.
Blue sky.
From where I live, it's been great.
Blue, what you got?
Man. So the other day I was walking around in my backyard and like we have a little compost bin on the side of our house, and I went to go throw some like old rotten fruit away, and there was the biggest fucking spider I ever saw in my whole goddamn life. Like holy shit! It wasn't like a tarantula or something, but this spider was fucking big, and it was like right there in my face when I turned the corner. I'm like, no, man, we gotta get rid of these goddamn spiders. So I got Terminex coming out this weekend to for fucking bugs and shit. Because goddamn, fuck that shit.
Yeah, I try to tell you, man, because we live. So if y'all didn't know, listen to the podcast. Me and Blue, we live on the opposite sides of the same creek wildlife area, and there's some fucking spiders here. I mean, it's not fucking Australian wolf fucking spider or huntsman spider size, but they're pretty fucking big. So yeah, I'm glad you're getting to.
Yeah, because
it definitely helps.
They're coming out to fucking rescue us. Other than that, what am I doing this weekend? Just doing some yard work. Definitely worked on some photo sessions I've done. I need to get those kind of processed and going. Yeah, even just looking through the pictures, I'm like, fuck, man. Like, I miss, like the cons and taking pictures of cosplayers and, like, damn, man, this post came out hella good and stuff like that. So, hopefully I can get some more people to, like, want to kind of break shelter and go out and take some photos. Because when I did Professor Denkenstein's pick photos, I was like, how the fuck am I going to take pictures and social distance at the same time? And basically, I just had to whip out my big lens and take pictures from fucking far away.
Wait a minute, that sounded wrong. What are you whipping out? What the fuck?
I gotta whip out the lens. I was like, whoa.
Man.
Oh, hey, did you wear protection on that shit or not?
Yeah, man, I had to whip out my man Dingo lens.
Oh,
I didn't know you were
God dang.
I didn't know you were working for Brazzers.
Oh, man.
Gotta make that money.
holy shit, that is. Damn, pause, but that is big.
Actually, this lens is actually from a I was doing work for TaskRabbit, and somebody had a garage sale, or they had a bunch of trash on the outside. They're like, "Hey, yeah, you can. This is trash. Just go ahead and take it." And they had this lens out there. I'm like, "Oh shit, I'll take that." And they also had this Canon camera. So this is actually a film camera. So all of this gear goes together,
nice.
but it's kind of cool. But
What's all that white residue on the lens? Like what's that white?
He busted.
It's energy drink.
Ah!
Yeah,
Damn.
it's pretty cool.
Nice. Good shit. All right, Cronus, what you got?
So in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to take like a week off, and so my oldest daughter is going to live with me for a little while. I have no idea how long, but she's going to come out and live with me for at least a few months. And so I have to like reconfigure the house because right now, because of COVID-19, K-Mac has been like her office is basically my daughter's room, and so I need to like basically throw enough space in the garage for K-Mac to move into the garage, to have the office in the garage because obviously I have an infinity base now, and so there's room in there, but I need to like move stuff in and out. So I have to take a week off to do that, and I have to also take a week off to fly out to Michigan and then drive back to California with my oldest daughter. So I'm looking forward to it, but I just have a lot of work to do, and then also sort of finish up some small things with the infinity base. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, other than that, you know, I've just been working out a lot and working and yeah, just hanging out with my family. It's just, I'm glad that there's less smoke now because, man, my lungs were literally hurting for like a few days because I was, you know, still working out, and it's just like you inhale more and more and more. It's just like more shit, more particulates into my lungs. So hopefully I don't get fucking lung cancer when I'm like 50 years old, which is less than 9 years from now. Jesus Christ. Anyway, yeah, hope it'll work out. So that's all I got.
Good shit.
All right, what are you doing?
Oh, that thing is wrong. What are you cleaning that thing?
What the fuck, man?
Stroking it. God damn.
It's so
the
smooth.
Zoom controller on it.
Can you not do that like that?
You got emasculated.
That's so big. I got actually I'm going through the process of escrow and buying a new home and doing some moving in the very near future. So some good news for my family is pretty exciting. Just trying to wrap our heads around that entire fucking process, which is daunting. But other than that, just fucking chilling. Oh, and then of course, still pissing off apparently Avengers fans, Gian and Daniel. I don't know why. Keenan from Culture Junkies. I don't know why people are so salty at me. All I did was tell y'all that the reviews aren't good. God damn.
Well, I know Gian hasn't played the game, but has the other guy?
No, actually no. Keenan, I think he did, but even still, like you can like what you like, but you know, if I tell you that the average review score is 5 out of 10, then it just is. I mean, well, deal with it.
It's for a reason. You know, it's funny. So I talked to like one of the comic guys today about the game, who was asking me. He's like, "Hey, did you beat Avengers yet?" I'm like, "No, but I didn't even get it because the stuff that I had a problem with in the demo or in the beta, they didn't really fix from what I saw from the reviews in the game." And he's like, "Oh, it's still fun, blah blah." I'm like, "Yeah, it's cool that you think it's fun, but for me, man, it's like I'll wait for them to fix it." Because to me, it has an Anthem feel.
It's not just you. It can't be just you if out of the tens of thousands of reviewers, on average, it's 5 out of 10. Like that's a bad review for a huge AAA game. Don't take it out. Don't be mad at me. You know who you should be mad at? You should be mad at Crystal Dynamics, and you should be mad at Square Enix or their collaboration with Marvel on this. Because you know what didn't happen? 2 years ago when Marvel Spider-Man dropped, nobody was mad. They had stellar reviews, and you know what's going to happen in a few weeks when Miles Morales drops. There's going to be really good reviews and people happy. So
I was just going to say that.
Fuck all of y'all. Eat a bag of dicks.
They try to do too much shit. It's like, like Spider-Man, especially Miles Morales Spider-Man, it's going to look better and it's going to play better. And I think that literally if they would have just taken out certain aspects of the game, then it would have been much better. but they tried to throw like too much shit in there, like with the whole loot system and like all the skill tree nonsense. The skill trees are okay, but like most of the loot system, the length of the game, and the multiplayer afterwards, it's just like it's just too much shit, and it's also recycled material. So just please stop it.
Yeah.
For
And I'm just going to say this one more time. We waited, and I know we're going on and on, but we waited so long because there weren't very many movie tie-ins for the biggest franchise in the world, the MCU. Well, there were a few early on, but there weren't that many. And so we've wanted an Avengers good game really since 2012 when that first Avengers movie dropped. That was 8 years ago. And we get this one and it's fucking mediocre at best. Eat a bag of dicks. Be ashamed.
See,
Fuck you, Crystal.
That's how you get shot.
So
All right, now we know they're gonna shoot you. All right.
Yeah.
Am I not doing anything this weekend?
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh man, damn.
No.
The disrespect.
That was offensive. Fuck, man. My bad. Go ahead, Stitch.
So now you're gonna get shot by our own people. There you go.
Damn. My bad.
I'll be real quick. I'm gonna try to what was I thinking about cooking this week? Now you fucked me up. But yeah, I was gonna watch you cause wars on Facebook with your Avengers stuff, and then your quote about how you can't fucking what was about support black men or whatever.
Well,
you pulled out a Jet magazine. I didn't even know they made Jet magazine. I haven't seen a Jet magazine since I was living with my parents in California. So I didn't even know it was still around and everything. You posted a Jet saying you can't do whatever if you don't support black men or whatever.
Well, you can't be. The quote was, and I purposely stirred that motherfucking pot. But the quote was, you can't be pro-black and hate straight black men. And they got a tizzy over that. Sorry.
Yeah, I was like 180 something comments. I was like, what do you do this time? I plan on cooking catfish. I was gonna fry up some catfish tomorrow. I haven't had catfish in a good while, and I was kind of craving that. I just want to pick out on some nice cornmeal fried, heavily seasoned catfish or whatever. And then other than that, I plan on finishing up Woke, and I want to check out Raised by Wolves.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Am I the only one that's watched it? Nobody else has seen it?
I forgot, so I'll check it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out.
That show's crazy.
Old Ninja, take us out.
All right. You just experienced Black and Black times Infinity. Dankest podcast on the internet. Check us out everywhere online with Be the BTI at Be the BTI. BTHANBTI. We're on Spotify, YouTube, Black and Black times Infinity, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, twitch.tv/Be the BTI. Check out our official website, binheadproductions.com/Be the BTI. We're also on SoundCloud, Stitcher, Player FM. There's some other ones we might be on pretty soon. We'll let you know when that comes through, but look for us on other new mediums that are coming out. Also, we're on Apple iTunes or Apple Podcasts. We're on there as well. Check us out on Amazon. We actually have an app on there that lets you know when we go live every Wednesday, 8:30 Pacific.
6-inch heels in the booty.
It's 9-inch heels. What the fuck?
6 inch.
Beyonce song, man. What the fuck are you talking
God
about?
damn.
They're Kodak Black song.
You need 9-inch stilettos, bro. You got to make statements. 6 inch is average now.
Good luck on that PS5.
Mm.